is Wednesday, July 8th in the United States and Canada. This is a show called What Chaos, and summer raps make me feel fine. From the Sports Interaction Studio in Boston, Massachusetts, my name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and holding it down in the city of two pets is Sean DePaz. What up, Grizz's dad?
Not much. I like that one. That might be my favorite one ever.
City of Two Pets, pretty good.
Kind of baby erasure there on the back half, but that's fine. That's firstborn life.
You remember when MLB did the ridiculous thing where players put nicknames on the back of their jerseys for a game?
That shit rocked Players Weekend. That was
Players Weekend.
David Price famously made what it was on the back of his
Astros dad.
Astros dad.
Oh, yeah,
and
success.
I asked the tough questions on television, which was, is that man suggesting he has sex with dogs?
It's not what he was suggesting at all.
Why would you take it there?
Yeah.
He's saying he was the father.
Yeah, the adoptive father.
He
Yeah.
stepped up.
Yeah, that's right. He's not the
Yo,
dog
you gonna
fucker.
start the show by calling me an animal's dad, and then immediately follow it up by being like, if you say the animal of a dad, you're implying you fuck animals. Is kind of a crazy way to start.
Sean, when I'm comparing you to David Price, you'll know.
Sean, speaking of parents, I went to a medium last night. I went to a medium, first time ever. It was wild, crazy experience.
I went
My
to a
mom
mani-pedi
came
for the
through.
first time yesterday.
My mom came through. What'd you say?
I said I had a mani-pedi for the first time yesterday.
Oh, damn. Mani-pedis.
Yeah, shit rocks.
That shit rocks. Yeah,
shit
we
rocks.
can be honest
Sorry
here.
to interrupt.
That's just awesome. My mom came through, and that lady was yapping. I had an hour-long session. It went an hour and 45 minutes because she just would not leave.
So your mom came back and
She would not leave.
you're like, thank you, Mom.
I famously, every time that I did visit my mom when she was alive, it was a nightmare trying to get out of that house on time. So that does check out. And Sean, she said, tell Sean that I really like him. He is a very sweet boy, and he has high integrity, I think was the word that was used. So my mom says hello, and it was a wild night. When the medium was like, your mom has a message for, you know, Sean? I was like, what
Did
the
they
fuck?
really say that?
Yes.
They pulled Sean blind?
Yeah.
Was this a I mean, I'm a scientist, so I have to be skeptical. Did you make an appointment with this medium?
Ellen did, yes.
Are your social medias public?
Yes.
Okay, they could have done research on Sean. Continue.
All
I don't want to be a dick,
regardless of where
but
it
that's a
comes
dick
from,
thing to like say.
Regardless of where
There was a lot of things that came through that would not have been researchable on social media.
Okay, that's amazing.
I
don't mean to come right out and say like I don't believe any of this was real because I don't think these people would have jobs if some of it wasn't real. But I'm so impressed that they would be able to specifically pull Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked that Sean's name came up, considering that you have never met my mom, and there was several things that were like absolutely would not have been known through social media. Like my grandmother came through, and like one of the things that like I loved about my grandmother and spending time with my grandmother was we took the bus to go get her hair done like once a week. And I would take the bus because she didn't drive. And one of the first things my grandmother came through and said was like, I don't drive. And I've never driven. And like also like my mom's not on social media. And immediately one of the first things she said was like, say hi to like two of her best friends, that there's no connection to like them being friends on the internet. It would not be researchable.
Wow.
So it was crazy. I would not come on here and be like, damn, this shit's crazy. If like I obviously thought of these things myself, whether they could be researched or not. And it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, Chad, I will say I know that everyone means well, but let's hold off on any. If you don't believe or you're skeptical of it, just wait a few minutes before we jump back in the chat, is what I'll say. Because I feel bad that I was like, oh, really? And not that we know if any of this is for sure, but
I don't give a fuck whether the chat thinks that it's real or not. I really don't. You can say whatever you want. I do not give a fuck.
They weren't there.
You weren't there.
On your side.
And all honestly, like hoping and believing is a choice on my part. And I miss my mom, and it makes me feel better that I went to a medium and I felt like I had a connection with my mom. So say whatever the fuck you want. It's fine. I've been a skeptic at points with stuff like this, and I'm choosing to believe that there was that this was a authentic connection. So if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. But fuck off. Leave me alone.
I just want to say, in the sake of full transparency, I am certainly skeptical, but regardless where it came from, I certainly appreciate the sentiment. Because fun story. Not the same thing, but my mom tells a story quite often. My grandpa, my mom's dad's side of the family, very Italian. If you know anything about Italians in like the 40s, not exactly the biggest fan of people of color historically. So her grandfather was quite the racist man. He died while she was pregnant with me, and she tells a story all the time that she had a dream of him coming back after he passed, before I was born, after I was born, telling her like how much like he loved me and all that kind of stuff, and how everything was okay. And so, world's a crazy place, and like you said, if it makes you feel good, I think that's all that ultimately matters.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the most believable thing among a lot of believable things there is that Pete's mom would find you to be a man of great integrity.
Definitely.
I do appreciate that. That is,
what if that was the thing, though, that made you skeptic? What if you were like, bullshit, everyone would
Sean's
say
a
that
real
Sean...
piece of shit.
No, if you were like, that's the most low-hanging, obvious thing in the world. Everyone fucking knows that guy's got integrity. Next, can someone bring me a real medium, please?
Nah, that would honestly, if you would come in here today and be like, I had a medium, I don't know why, my mom fucking hated you, Sean. I would have been like, hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. You can't be everybody's cup of tea.
Well, my belief system had to be passed down from someone.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was a racism joke for anybody who missed the vote there.
Where do you learn it from? I was actually
Exactly.
Will you go back?
You learned it from the internet.
I think I would probably go back. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, if you get to the point where like you have a medium.
I don't know if I want to
You're
be
like, fuck, I saw my medium at CBS the other day. It was so awkward.
I have a nail tech now. Not that that's the same thing, but
yeah.
Shout out Mo. That woman rocks.
They did say, though, the medium said that I have whatever, like, mediumship gene or, like, aura or whatever it was. So, like, if I really wanted to get to the bottom of this and how real or unreal it is,
dude,
he was like, you could
become a medium, Pete.
You could become a medium if you, like, really put yourself to it.
They're recruiting you.
Yes.
Like when you go to a few spin classes, they're like, you could teach.
Yeah. And I forgot about this part. He was like, you saw a ghost recently, didn't you? And I was like, sure fucking did. Nobody believed me in the chat on this one either.
At the Stanley Cup final.
No.
He's not Carter Hart.
No, Shane Gostisbehere.
Oh,
that's true.
I was
no,
more of like a sea and
remember,
ghost kind of thing, because that guy sucked at the Stanley Cup.
5 months ago, I
remember this.
I said that I saw a ghost in the middle of the night. And he was like, you saw a ghost recently, didn't you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you got the mediumship gene. So shout out. I'm a medium.
In my wise age of 27 and 51 weeks, I've gotten to the point where I'm comfortable not knowing things. Things don't make sense.
Carly Rae Jepsen once said,
sense, you just keep it
happy
pushing.
not knowing.
Yeah, some things we're not gonna have the answer to everything. I don't know how any of this shit works.
I feel like
I'll find out when I die.
I had this in my late 20s, which is like you kind of get a reset in your late 20s where you're like, oh, not everything has been figured out. I don't know as much as I thought, and I'm definitely not done learning. That's like the biggest thing, at least personally for me. In my late 20s, I got kind of like hit with a few things at once where I was like, oh yeah, like I definitely still have so much shit to learn, which is very, it's like depressing if you feel like you've kind of figured out a lot of things and you know how shit's going to go. And to know like, oh,
Not
I'm
only
going
is
to
it
feel,
depressing, it's wrong.
I'm going to feel really dumb a lot more over the years. It's nice. It's a good part of growing up. What's on the show today, Pete?
It's on the show. It's a summer what chaos, and we've reached a point in the schedule where I fucking miss doing the show, man. When the Leo Carlsson stuff came down, I was like, can't wait to get back on the mic.
I was so fucking mad when that shit came down. Did you listen to 32 Thoughts?
No.
Banner performance from Elliot. He was like, July 2nd, I am off. And July 3rd, the offer sheet came down, and my wife wants to kill me. Kyle, my wife wants to kill me.
And Kyle, your wife wants to kill you too because she hates you, right?
Dude, relationship chat on 32 Thoughts is my favorite fucking thing in the world.
Today on the show, we're talking duck hunting because people are hunting ducks, particularly Daniel Brier and maybe some other teams around the league. Tom Gazzolla is going to join the show of, where's he from?
Tom Gazzolla Show on Sports 1440.
That does check out. Oilers fellow. We're going to talk
Edmonton
some Oilers.
guy. We're going to talk
Edmonton.
a lot of CFL.
Okay, very cool. We got This Week in Cages. You go to the batting cages? We'll find out. Is that what we're talking about?
May have. Sean, you got something for us?
Oh, no. Oh. Is
I
this like
was
a batting
out there.
cage driving range
Yes.
type thing? What the hell?
Honestly, that didn't clock with me. This is very
That's
open
sick,
range
honestly.
cages.
It was I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll have some footage. The feeder really sucked, but everything else, that layout, incredible.
Because the
Theater
feeder's
suck, but
exposed
you
to the
still ate.
elements.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, where's Morgan go?
Where's Morgan go?
Oh, Morgan Riley.
Morgan Wiley gonna go? Just like the other shit that's gonna happen. What I should have put there was that the Fleet are moving to Agganis, because we're going to talk about that, and that's going to be more interesting than trying to figure out where Morgan Riley goes.
Is there a Fleet player named Morgan? Because we could just pivot to that and say Morgan's going to Boston.
I don't want Morgan Riley at any Fleet games. That's all I know.
Definitely not.
All right. We did it a little bit. Sean and I did it a little bit on a bonus episode on Patreon, which we try to keep any sort of like real main show stuff like hockey news off of the Patreon because we don't want people to feel locked out. But it's impossible to not constantly think about the offer sheet that the everyone keeps saying. And I don't like the Flyers put this. The Flyers announced like we have extended an offer sheet to Leo Carlsson. That's not the fucking news.
No, he signed
the
the
news
offer
is
sheet.
that Leo Carlsson signed an offer sheet. And I saw when it came down that day, a lot of Ducks fans were like, well, he hasn't signed yet. Yes, he has.
Yeah, I mean,
when you hear about the offer sheet, it means it has been signed because 4 teams offer sheeted Leo Carlsson.
When you get engaged, you don't say, I have proposed. You say, we're engaged.
Yes. And that's it's a nice little analogy because there still is the it might not happen thing.
Right.
Of
Important step.
yes, very important step. The Flyers offer sheeting Leo Carlsson with a 5-year, 90-something. It's $18 million a year. It makes him the highest paid player in the NHL, regardless of where he ends up, whether the Ducks match, which they have 2 days left.
Yeah.
We're now on Wednesday. Ducks have 2 days to match or walk away.
Fun part of the timing of this all is that it was signed on
July 3rd.
July 3rd.
Yep.
Signed on July 3rd before a holiday weekend, and the way the contract structured, you need like $20 million in signing bonus money.
Yep.
Which, like, sometimes when you're talking about offer sheets, like, maybe the team doesn't have that kind of cash.
Yeah, I mean, famously, that's what happened with Joe Sakic, where the Rangers offer sheeted Joe Sakic back in the day, And the Avalanche owners did not have that kind of money to foot that bill, but they were producers, I think, of the movie Air Force One. And that shit went bonkers at the box office. So they got this influx of cash that they were able to match and keep Joe Sakic. We explained what offer sheets were a little bit last week because people had asked. And the explanation, again, I'll say, is when you're out of contract with your team, you're either an unrestricted free agent or a restricted free agent. There are some other levels of free agent you can be. Cutter Gauthier is one, the like 102C, whatever, blah, blah. But usually you're an unrestricted free agent, which means you're free to sign with anybody. Or if you're a younger player, usually you're a restricted free agent, which means you don't have enough experience in the NHL to be completely free. So your team has your rights. You can only sign with them. Another team can come in, though, and basically hand you a contract that is not negotiated. Say, here you go. Do you want this contract? If you sign it, then your team has 7 days to match that exact contract. Or if they decline it, you go to them and your original team gets draft pick compensation. There are different tiers depending on what the AAV is. The AAV, average annual value, is calculated differently for offer sheets than they are for normal contracts, but we won't get into that because that'll give you a popsicle headache. But they're not super common. They're becoming more common. 2 years ago, two players from the same team, the Oilers, got offer sheeted at the same time. Oilers declined to match, and they got draft picks, and it fucked up their whole thing. The big thing with offer sheets is you don't want to offer sheet someone just for the sake of doing it, just for the sake of the other team paying their guy a little more. So you need to blow that player's value out of the water. You need to sign them for way more than they are worth. Leo Carlsson is not worth $18 million.
Not yet.
He's worth 10, 11, 12 million dollars, depending on how long his contract should be. 5 years, which gets him right to unrestricted free agency at the highest average annual value in the league, is an insane contract, and that fucking rules, and we love it because the Flyers are now in a position where, like, maybe they get that guy and they give up 4 first-round picks to do it, but I personally would trade 4 first-round picks for Leo Carlsson. And Sean, we were talking about this. You can trick your brain into thinking it's okay and saying, like, here's what we're trading for Leo Carlsson. We're getting Leo Carlsson for $12 million a year. And what we need to do to get him is give up 4 first-round picks and take on $6 extra million against the cap for every year of his contract. I love that the Flyers did this. I'll say, though, I liked David Pagnotta had said, like, hours before this happened that someone was going to offer sheet Leo Carlsson and that, like, teams were circling around him. I loved the idea of the Red Wings doing it. There were a few teams that I was like, oh, I really like this. And then it came out to be that the Flyers did it. And maybe these other teams did offer sheet him because 4 teams did offer sheet him. Flyers put in the best offer, though. I love the move from Danny Brier.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but I love it so much. And it, like, this is the kind of deal where there's a lot of deals in the offseason where the sticker shock comes and you're like, wow, that's crazy. And then you talk yourself into it over time. This is one of the ones where the sticker shock comes, you're like, damn, that's crazy. And the more and more you think about it, you're like, this is even crazier than I would have. Like the crazy, no, like it gets crazier the more you think about it because this deal is so insane that it's going to reset the market. It is basically like broke the salary cap structure of the NHL. And like at the end of the day, the Flyers are sitting there. They're either going to get an incredible player who's young and makes them a lot more fun and a lot more dangerous. And yes, he's overpriced, but they're going to get a sick player and they become way cooler. Or they forced Anaheim to match, and it fucks Anaheim so hard. Like, either way, this is so cool. And I do feel bad for Ducks fans because Ducks fans, you've been riding this out. You put together a really young core. You got a very exciting team that you're just starting to knock on the door last year, and then this happens. But truly, I do believe in, like, stupidity and inaction having consequences, and Pat Verbeek absolutely deserved to have this happen to him.
Yeah, I mean, the asshole negotiator that was his reputation, did it with Mason McTavish, did it with a bunch of guys where he will not lose the negotiation. And I always say, good GMs should be willing to lose trades. They should be willing to overpay somebody. Like, do what you need to do.
More than winning a negotiation is keeping your players happy.
Yeah, and
if you could do both, that'd be great. But
that actually, like, you're in a place with bad taxes too, so you're gonna need to pay these guys a little more from time to time. But played hardball with Zegras, Drysdale, McTavish, bunch of guys. Announced that he would match any offer for Leo Carlsson, which, Sean, we talked about this a little bit, and just a dumb thing to do because 4 teams immediately said, yeah, okay, prove it. Really dumb.
Watch this shit.
And then here's where it gets really bad. He signed AJ Brier, friend of the show, for 4 years at $4.25 million per before getting his own guys done, and then got scared into overpaying Pavel Mintyukov because he was getting offer sheeted too. AFP projected Pavel Mintyukov at 6x6. The Ducks gave him 1 year fewer, which if you're signing for a player on their second deal for big money or an RFA, you want to go more years to make the value of the contract better. Ducks give Mintyukov 5 years times $7.2 million. The offer sheet compensation for that deal was a first, second, and a third. And this is a player who I think we overstate did the Ducks even like him? Because he did become an important player for them last year, but we are not far removed from the Ducks, I think, having questions on him. And now they're paying him $7.2 million a year.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And yeah, I just think that like they've panicked. He's got to be in an absolute panic right now, Pat Verbeek. And that deal I really hate. And I mean, the AJ Brier deal I hated on day one before any of this shit happened. That seemed like a ridiculous overpay from the start. But to do that before you get any of your guys done, to let even Leo Carlsson get to this place get to this point in the first place is crazy. He should have signed Leo Carlsson months and months and months ago to set the table for the rest of these guys, like a Mintyukov, a Cutter Gauthier, who they're going to need to sign. But like now, if they do sign Carlsson, they do match. You're going to be looking at that Brier contract being like, wish I wasn't wearing this fucking AJ Brier contract, because you're going to need to free up money to sign Gauthier, which means Frank Vetrano's probably out the door if they can trade him. Like they're going to lose a good player or a solid player regardless of what happens here.
And I know that there's a lot of comeuppance with Pat Verbeek because of the way he has worked with a lot of his players, but it is crazy to me that this team did not learn from what happened to the Oilers 2 years ago. You have almost not the exact same thing because Anaheim's cap figure is different than what Edmonton's was at the time, but the Oilers had 2 players coming off their entry-level deals, Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway, both RFAs. The Oilers went out and spent money on veterans in free agency, using money that could have been used on making sure that they did not get their players plucked away. Then the Blues offer sheeted both of those players at the same time, and the Oilers had committed money that they could have used to match to signing Jeff Skinner or to signing Josh Brown, to keeping Adam Henrique, things that they probably wouldn't have done if they knew that these guys were going to get offer sheeted. The Ducks did this fucking same thing where like you've got to take care of, there's no threat with Cutter Gauthier because he's not an RFA.
Well, there's a threat in the sense that they may not have enough money to give him the contract that he's going to command.
This, yeah.
Correct.
But they get to the offseason and they give AJ Brier $4.25 million. Like, it's the same fucking thing. How did you not learn, especially in a market where there were no good free agents?
I know. And like, this is a bottom 6 player. This is not like overpaying a guy who is going to fit into your top line or your top 6. And the only way that offer sheets can be weaponized is if the offer sheet is so ridiculous that you're not going to match it, or like it's not worth matching it, or if you just don't have enough money to do it. And like that's how the Oilers got boned. And now this is like an added layer of how the Ducks can get boned here. Like it's so tough that AJ Greer's deal was bad on day one, and now it's exponentially worse.
Yeah, I said that the cap figures were different, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Ducks said, okay.
yeah.
Chat's saying it's not the same. Ducks had a bunch of money. The Oilers didn't. But I am seeing like a lot of like the Ducks are kind of fucked either way, because if you match, then your cap situation is all fucked up, and if you walk away, you don't have Leo Carlsson anymore, and you take a huge step back. We've kind of buried the lead here, which is that, not to put pressure on you, Sean, one of us leans the Ducks shouldn't match. You think the Ducks should walk away?
Yeah, man. I just I think they've lost. I think the Flyers fucked them. You have too many good players you have to pay, and like the Flyers aren't. Yeah, the Flyers are just in a situation where they could do this, and you're going to have to pay all the players. You're going to have to pay Seneca. You're going to have to pay Gauthier. Like, sorry about it. You only have so much money, and like people keep saying the cap's going up, but it's not up yet. Like they're gonna need to pay the players, and I just, as good as Leo Carlsson is, and as great as I think he's going to be, like is that worth losing Beckett Seneca? Is it worth, or any of these guys? Like I don't think so. I think you need to prioritize the rest of your roster at this point.
Sean, I fucking love that take. I love it so much. If I were the Ducks, I would match, but no one's fucking saying this. I usually think, Sean, can you throw up the last 10 offer sheets that have happened in the NHL? It's got the players, teams that offer sheeted them, and then the result. There's two out right now. Apologies to Barrett Hayden. No one gives a fuck about that offer sheet right now that the Devils tendered on July 1. But Dylan,
I believe Utah matched.
Did Utah match?
Yeah.
I also have been off the grid for the last like 3 days, and I sent the information on this last night, so I'm sorry if... Did Utah match?
Yeah.
Okay. Utah matched. Apologies. I should have checked that. Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, Oilers declined to match. Jesperi Kotkaniemi in 2021. The Hurricanes offer sheeted. Canadians said, fine, take him. Sebastian Aho was a match. Ryan O'Reilly was a match, which one of my favorite stories is that the Flames did not realize how like re-entry post-lockout would have worked. They were going to have to put Ryan O'Reilly on waivers if they had added him to their roster during the lockout, which would have been so fucking funny because they would have immediately lost him and given a bunch of draft picks. Nicholas Hjalmarsson offer sheeted by the Sharks in 2010. The Blackhawks wisely matched. And then, all due respect, Steve Bernier, I don't care about that one. I think that one's kind of inconsequential. I want to show this to say, in almost all of these cases, the move was to match. The Oilers couldn't really do it, but they should have moved heaven and earth to match to keep Philip Broberg. They should have really tried to keep Dylan Holloway. The only one there where I say, good job declining to match, is the Canadians walking away from Jesperi Kotkaniemi. All those other guys you want to keep. So I'll say, if it is a player of significance, and apologies to Steve Bernier, if it's a player of significance, a Nicholas Hjalmarsson, a Ryan O'Reilly, a Sebastian Aho, a Philip Broberg, who like we didn't quite know yet, but it seemed pretty clear that he was going to be a really good player, had proven at least in the playoffs that he could be. If it's a really good player, you got to fucking keep him. This though, like Broberg was second round pick threshold. Holloway was third round pick threshold. This is the biggest contract by AAV ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And so, like, Sean, I'm not going to say that you're wrong, because I don't think that there's a wrong way. Like, you're fucked either way.
Yeah,
but
exactly, yeah.
I just lean, you can't walk away from your number one center, who might be like one of the best number one centers in the league for the next however many years. We don't yet know what Leo Carlsson's ceiling is. I think that it is very high, and it is very difficult to replace a number one center. And if the Ducks walk away,
at it, though.
What's up?
Sorry, you have 4 shots at it though. Like you're getting 4 first-round picks.
No,
I know
yeah,
it's not like, but like
if I'm the Ducks and I'm taking the 4 first-round picks, I'm immediately trying to turn those first-round picks into a replacement center, which is like maybe a Dylan Larkin. Maybe you want to go out and get Elias Pettersson. We'll see, but like. I wouldn't like either one of those options, but I think that you're immediately trying to turn those into a replacement who's probably going to be way worse than Leo Carlsson on a much shorter timeline. So I would keep Leo Carlsson and then try to figure things out from there. And you mentioned like maybe you lose Beckett Seneca. Maybe you're probably going to lose somebody as a result of having to pay this guy so much money. But I want Leo Carlsson. I want Leo Carlsson, and you recognize that you've been beat by Danny Brier. You learn that lesson and how you move forward. If Pat Verbeek even fucking keeps his job after this ineptitude, you got to keep Leo Carlsson. That's kind of just where I land on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree on the picks thing. Like, I don't necessarily think you're not drafting 4 guys in the hopes of replacing Leo Carlsson. I just think, like you said, or like we both said, I guess, they're fucked. They've lost. And I think at this point, you choose the option that gives you more flexibility.
I have one that I haven't seen, but it was because I don't think Larkin's happening for 2 first-round picks or 3 first-round picks or anything like that. And maybe it was just this draft, but I wonder if this draft and how those picks were getting traded for, like famously the 4th overall pick gets traded for a maybe very good but not great player. 9th overall pick gets moved a million times. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the beginning of the devaluing of first round picks. So that could also be part of this. Maybe that's part of why the Flyers did this, where they were like, you know what? Fuck these picks. We just need a good player. Let's try it. What about if the Ducks walk away, get the 4 first-round picks, and trade for Pavel Zacha? It's not as sexy, doesn't match the timeline amazingly, but I don't believe there are any 21-year-old first-line centers that are out there. So I think that the more realistic path versus trading for Dylan Larkin but that's like on the town line of a solution, though. Exactly. But it speaks to that this situation ain't good. I will say, though, I would rather significantly overpay for an awesome player on the cap than significantly overpay for a pretty good player via trade. I will reiterate, I don't think matching destroys the Ducks. I think that it blows my mind and everybody else's mind because a lot of people smarter than us with cap stuff have pointed out that at no point of this contract will it be good. That's a thing that that needs to clock to people when it comes to some of these offer sheet contracts. This more so than any others. Like I remember when Broberg got $4.58 million a year when he had 13 NHL games, but not a lot of NHL games under his belt and not a lot of regular season experience, good stats, whatever. We're $4.58 million. That's crazy, but it's a 2-year deal. And if he's good in the first year of it, then that second year, $4.58 million for a top pairing defenseman? That's fucking amazing. And that's what ends up happening. He's going to have to be winning MVP for $18 million a year to make sense during this contract. But maybe not, because based off of how things are, how much the slider has been moved and how much the contracts have been adjusted, other guys are going to start making around this sort of money. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just this has completely broken the cap structure of the NHL. Celebrini, Bedard, Fantilli, all those guys are going to get a shit ton of money now. We did say, I think so, but we also said that about Kaprizov, and then everyone was like, we're not giving our guys.
But there is
$17
certainty that the cap is going to jump.
Yes,
There's certainty that the cap is going to jump like fairly exponentially, and like the Ducks are just going to sign this deal and bang the drum that the NHL needs to expand, and they're going to be like, they need to expand to Saudi Arabia, get that Saudi money in here, and let's get this cap flying.
Sweet oil money.
Here's the someone in the chat says, if the Flyers didn't do it, somebody else would have. No, they wouldn't have.
No, because
they waited.
They had it on the table, and the Ducks probably had, or the Flyers had the best offer.
Yeah. 4 teams did it, and this was the best one of them. So,
but the fact that 4 teams did it says that Pat Verbeek is a moron for saying, I will match it no matter what.
But I think that 4 teams did like 15 a year. That's me guessing.
Because wasn't there reports that like they got the offers, Carlsson and his agent went to Verbeek and said we'll do it 15. For 15.
Yeah.
And he said no.
Which means they would have done it for 14, by the way.
Yeah.
They were at 15. The Ducks were at 12 and a half.
So bad.
And they said, all right, you're really not going to do this. I'll add another thing. With offer sheets, you can't do this because of the cap and everything, and the NHL has actually a pretty logical salary cap. You can't have poison pills, and I don't wish that you could, but like back in the day, this would happen in the NFL, where you would put in the contract a stipulation that if the player plays for you, it doesn't fuck you up at all, but if the player plays for their original team, it would destroy them. Like, for example, say I'm the Patriots, you're the Dolphins, you have a player that I want. I give them an offer sheet, and it says in the contract, if during the first year of the deal, the player plays 4 games in Miami, they get $100 million extra. And then you just can't match that contract because then you have to give them $100 million, and it absolutely fucks them. They did fuck around with like bonuses to make it a less enviable contract for the Samueli family to sign, but you can't like straight up fuck them in that way. And that would make it more delicious.
And I believe that the Ducks ownership is like one of the richest in the league.
Yeah, there was because they don't put a lot of upfront money in their deals, so a lot of people took that to mean they don't have the dough, and I'm ignorant to the Samueli family. So I also was like, oh man, is that going to be tough for them to front? But
I want to say they have one of like the highest net worths of ownership in the NHL, but like that doesn't mean that they have the cash. So I don't know. I don't know how that all shakes out.
Musk.
But I do love an element of this that we haven't talked about is that it's the Flyers, man. It's the Flyers fucking with the Ducks, which is incredible because of the Cutter Gauthier situation. This is the most random, inexplicable rivalry and probably the hottest rivalry in terms of pure hatred and fuckery in the entire National Hockey League. And it's the best, man. It's the best, especially because 2 weeks ago, the Ducks took like a victory lap on the Gauthier thing. It was like post draft day pictures of players on your roster, and they posted Cutter Gauthier in a Flyers uniform. This being another chapter in that weird rivalry is the best. Man.
I hate to go Colby Cohen on your ass, but no.
What?
The social media admin is not in on contract negotiations.
I know that, but just from a surface level, these two teams are just constantly fucking with each other. I love that. I don't think that Danny Brier was like.
I mean, that would be as soon as I said that's not happening, I was like, oh God, what if that was happening? Danny Brier is on fucking Twitter and is like, oh hell no.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's
has
how
Carlsson
it works.
signed yet? Get me Matt Cater.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, there's a bunch of stuff. First off, I was confused because you said that someone commented that if the Flyers didn't do it, someone else would have, and then you said no, they wouldn't have. But isn't the fact that 3 other teams did it proof that someone else would have done it?
But I'm saying that the $18 million.
Oh, but we
Right.
don't know
Like,
that though.
Yeah.
They did that one because that was the one that had the most money.
We don't know what
we don't-
know that necessarily. Maybe Leo Carlsson loves the Ducks Flyers rivalry. Maybe he was like
very possible.
I mean, maybe
if he
maybe
wanted
one
to
of the-
maximize the pain for the Ducks to pay it back to get back at Pat Verbeek, Flyers would be the one to go to.
Maybe the
I don't know
fucking
if that's his
Flames
move.
offered him $18 million because like we don't necessarily know that nobody else would have done it. It's
But-
just
This has been around. This has been going down for 5 days now. The $18 million figure, like try to get back to last Friday. The $18 million number made me crash my fucking car. I've
fucking
crashed
insane,
a
dude.
car.
it's so crazy.
So
Leo
that, like-
Carlsson from the fucking clouds becoming the highest paid player in the sports history is fucking ridiculous.
That's why I think Danny Brier deserves a little more credit with regard to the if they didn't do it, somebody else would have. It blows my fucking mind that one person did. Or it did blow my mind that one person did. And that is some insane outside the box thinking. I will not give 3 other general managers that much credit to say
That's
that
fair.
they could have done that as well. I could be extremely wrong.
Listen, I will absolutely, even if we're living in fantasy world, I'll take pro Danny Briere propaganda any day of the week. I also wanted to mention, I'm pretty sure that the Barrett Hayton offer sheet was matched like while we were having that conversation because it's just getting reported. And it's funny that you bring up the poison pill thing because it's not necessarily a poison pill, but a big thing with that offer sheet was that Barrett Hayton now cannot be traded by Utah. It was a 1-year offer sheet and he becomes a UFA at the end of it. So kind of got fucked there. Like they're not going to be able to move off Barrett Hayton if they want to, or get anything from him if he ends up leaving. So poison pills, I guess, are still kind of alive in a weird way.
I think, though, I could be wrong on this. They might be able to trade his rights after the season, though. Actually,
For like a 7-year.
I don't know.
Like,
I'd
a
have to
sign-in
check. But
trade.
yeah, like they can't.
But they can't.
Yeah, if you
they're not
match
gonna
an
be able to
offer sheet, you
flip him
can't
at the
trade
deadline.
him that year. So, yeah, it does. I would have kept them. I would have kept him if I were Utah.
Yeah.
Utah's.
I think it was a worthwhile offer sheet from New Jersey's perspective, and it's not one of the ones that like will burn the bridge of your relationship to Utah. Like this is a bridge burning deal. I can't imagine Verbeek wanting to work at all with Danny Briere moving forward from this thing. So,
Dude, this is Pat Verbeek's fault, though. We all know it's
Definitely.
Pat Verbeek's fault.
Well, definitely.
He is a stubborn idiot if he's like, I'm not going to. I don't know, man. Like, if I fucking if I get a sandwich, put it on your desk, walk out for an hour, and you're like, hey, I ate that sandwich. I assumed it was for me. And I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, you did all that shit. You fucking, you begged everybody to do it.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
chat saying that the trade restriction lifts at the beginning of the new league year, which would be July 1st.
So it'd be
you
July
would not
1st.
be able
So
to.
he couldn't do it. So not even getting that 6th round pick, baby.
Well, that's what I was gonna say earlier too about Verbeek, like whether you match or not. Like the thing that it keeps coming back to is that at the end of the day, they are fucked either way, and they have a guy who in recent weeks has proven he is not a good GM. So like it doesn't matter. Is he going to be able to build a winning team with or without Leo Carlsson at $18 million? Like I would bet no.
I want to remain on the record that I am not participating in the they are fucked either way thing.
Yeah,
I do not think they are fucked if they match this offer
fucked is
sheet.
I think they're
dramatic.
short term fucked. Like I think that they are put in an unenviable position that they're going to have to kind of wriggle their way out of in the short term. But long term, I think they're more fucked if you lose Leo Carlsson.
I mean, they're in a situation where you're fucked if you have a bad GM, and it appears they might have a bad GM.
Yeah,
they-
so
they
like,
have
I
skipped-
wonder about is Pat Verbeek a bad GM, or is he just kind of opening himself up to getting killed because his ego is so big?
Distinction without a difference.
That partially might make you a bad general manager, but the way that he's been able to construct a pretty good roster, this is obviously a very bad offseason for Pat Verbeek. Nobody's debating that. He has done a horrible job managing his team for the past calendar year or whatever you want to say. This offseason, ton of questionable things that has put his team in a much worse spot. But I'm not willing to throw like a blanket statement that he is a terrible GM. If he were to get fired for this, I would say I understand why, but I wouldn't say like no other team should ever give him another chance.
Pat Verbeek is not a bad GM. Sorry, folks. He
He's
shouldn't
a GM
be in
that's done
charge.
a bad job.
Yeah, he did a bad job on this, and there is something that he is terrible at. Like, do you really want to play this game with every GM? Because I can give you the shit that they're bad at. Like, there are reasons why some GMs have their jobs. Don Sweeney is fucking horrible at drafting. Mm-hmm. Don Sweeney's bad at a lot of things, but he's good at a couple of them. He's good at re-signing his own guys, and that's why he keeps his job. He gets his team into the playoffs. He keeps his job. If we're defining like good GM as no obvious shortcomings, there's how many good GMs are there?
I was gonna say,
like Mike Brier. We're fucking like, I love Mike Brier, and I think he's a really good GM. Pisses me off sometimes, but Mike Grier's done some goofy shit this offseason. Did we come on after July 1 and say, Mike GM or Mike Grier?
Mike GM is like Mike
GMMG.
TV.
Yeah, like Mike. Yes,
I'm gonna start calling him Mike GM.
Yeah, like let's not forget, GMs are typically pretty imperfect.
I don't know, Eric Tulsky, Ken Hughes.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
those
Ken
are the
Hughes,
two that would jump out to me.
I was gonna
Sample
do like
size on
Bill
Tulsky's
Guerin,
small, though.
but Bill Guerin's definitely done some.
Oh, you don't think Bill Guerin has any obvious flaws? That's crazy.
Well, that's why I said it at first, thinking the guy just won GM of the year as traded for Quinn Hughes, and then I thought about it some more. I'm like, maybe he doesn't exactly, maybe not the perfect.
He was also
candidate.
like trying to give away Jesper Wallstedt at the trade deadline. It's like, I will move this guy for anyone. Any fucking takers, I'll do it. I'm crazy.
If we're having a conversation about Leo Carlsson being the highest paid player in the NHL and probably being overpaid,
I think
the current highest paid player in the NHL is on the Minnesota Wild.
I think that the Ducks need to, or Pat Verbeek needs to either recuse himself from contract negotiations, have an assistant GM who handles a lot of that shit, which sometimes assistant GMs will do a lot of the work on things like that. Just your ego or your vision on a lot of these contracts, it just doesn't work. You know who's not getting much credit for Leo Carlsson right now?
Who?
Pat Verbeek. Who is the second best player in the 2023 NHL draft? Adam Fantilli. And the Ducks took Leo Carlsson
like scouting,
second overall. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, that's where if I were Pat Verbeek, I'd be so fucking mad. I'd be like, I fucking nailed that shit. And now you don't get to do
should have locked him up.
You're right, because
Sign that guy.
But I do think those days kind of are over where Draisaitl and McDavid are up at the end of their rookie deals. What does Peter Chiarelli do? Gives them the longest contract he can give them, says, Draisaitl, I'm giving you, I think it was like $10.5 million a year. And this was before people were doing that. And everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? And then if they're a good player, that's where it's the difference between these types of contracts. Like Draisaitl, 8 years at, I think it was $10.5 million a year. As long as they're really good, you're getting 6 years of one of the best players in the league, underpaid before you have to get to that, okay, you're a UFA, we got to throw huge money at you right now. Same thing with McDavid. They gave him a blank check. He said, no, I'll just do 12.5. And for 8 years, they get that. And yeah, they didn't win a cup during it, but that's where you can take your shots because you've got a star player who isn't totally blowing your cap to smithereens. They have skipped. The fucking Ducks nailed it on this guy. And they have to skip to, at 21 years old, we're paying you like you just won 3 Hearts in a row, and we're getting you in free agency and paying you as the highest paid player in the league. That fucking sucks so much.
Yeah, but it's you pooped on the ground and then whoops, you stepped in it. That's just what happened. Yeah, I mean, I hope that you are enjoying the last big offer sheet you'll ever see, because ain't no team in the league gonna make this mistake moving forward.
Yeah, RFAs are now done too. UFAs are over. RFAs are over
Free
as well.
agency is done across the board.
Everyone is going to sign all of their guys forever. Sean, do you have a clip from, I think it was Monday, Frank Saravalli was on with Bob Stauffer and pegged the chances at Leo Carlsson's contract being matched, the Ducks matching, at 70%. He said, based on people that he had talked to, he said it's something like 70, maybe 65%. But then he explained something that might maybe give Ducks fans pause.
Because the other part of it, that's what I was getting at, between Greg Cronin, between the tough negotiating, there's a real growing sense from people who have talked to the Carlsson camp that Leo Carlsson doesn't want to be there anymore.
Oh.
And so that's the tough part, is like, if you're Anaheim, you can blow your cap up and keep him. But do you really want to do it for a player who might not want to be there?
I think he's going to want to be there if he's getting $18 million a year.
Well, we talked about this with Broberg a couple of years ago, where if guys are taking pay cuts to stay and, we got to make all these pieces fit, and then it's, oh, well, I went out and I signed an offer sheet and now I'm throwing a wedge into this thing. I said at the time, I rewatched our reaction to that stuff, and I'll say it again now, it's not good, but a lot of guys in the Ducks are going to be like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Mm-hmm. Although a lot of guys in the Ducks are going to be like, you just made me a lot of money, brother. It's not going to be here, but you made me a lot of money.
Seriously. Shout out to Max on his Elliot Friedman bullshit, giving credit to Verbeek for drafting Carlsson and then not locking him up is like saying I had a hot girlfriend in high school, but we broke up in college. Yeah. It's like
still counts.
Yeah, it's like a dude in his 40s talking about how he dated like a supermodel, and it's like all his buddies are like, and you let her go?
Yeah.
I will say this, what do you think? What pick do you think he's more proud of, the Leo Carlsson pick or the Beckett Seneca pick? Because I would argue that the Seneca pick was a little bit.
Seneca was way more off the board.
Yeah,
Carlsson
that's another
was
sign that
probably going third. That most people thought that he was going to go third, and then he went second. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's attached to a player, it might be more Beckett.
That's another indication, though, that that's a good GM, man. Like, he has nailed it. And I know that these are the second and third overall picks we're talking about, but what's that man going to do with 4 first-round picks? Far be it from the Flyers to potentially take a fallow year at some point.
I said
what
that
if
earlier,
they match and Leo Carlsson gets hurt next year?
I said that earlier, and y'all said it was ridiculous. I referenced them having 4 chances at making, which I don't think that they'll take 4 picks, but
those two guys were drafted at 2 and 3. What are the chances?
But again, at 2,
the Flyers are dog shit for a season. What are the chances?
At 2, he took the guy who was supposed to go 3, and at 3, he took the guy who was supposed to go Julianne Moore voice 9. Mm-hmm. So what happens if he gets 14?
Yeah,
I think.
Well, what if he gets 14 and has 3 other first overall picks to package with it?
Yeah, like that he can move to get to 9, whatever. My vote is match, but I fucking love that we're not 3 people sitting around saying, oh, well, they've got to match, because they don't have to. No one's making them. I just look at those players on that full screen, and I think the ones who are good, just basically like ask yourself, is the player really good?
Yeah.
And if it's you should probably match.
Yeah.
This is a team that should have hired Kevin Adams.
Somebody said crediting Verbeek for listening to his for the work of his scouting department is crazy. It's not crazy, because a lot of GMs don't fucking listen to their scouting department, and who sometimes gives those people the jobs? The GM. Like, I think saying that a GM is not responsible for a draft pick because of the scouting department is just wrong. Like, those decisions and recommendations get overlooked all the time based off of like the scouting board. It's true.
Yes.
Because who gets blamed when you miss? Like if you go off the board, if you take a Seneca and Seneca isn't great and people thought it was a huge reach, they're not going to blame the scouting department. They're going to blame Pat Verbeek. He's in the firing line. So yeah, you have to give credit to the general manager.
They should have hired Kevin Adams because that guy loves signing his young players early and for a lot of money. And historically, it didn't go very well, but recently it turned out pretty well. They need him more than Boston does.
We're going to be joined by Tom Gazzolla of the Tom Gazzolla Show in a little bit. Let's talk about some of the players who have not signed, because Anthony Mantha is still twisting in the wind at, I would say, the top of the remaining free. Like Anthony Mantha was like one of the 10 best free agents probably in this trash ass class.
A really good year.
And what do you think happens with him? I'm pulling up Puckpedia right now to be like, I know like a lot of teams have space. Oh, Flyers should sign Anthony Mantha. They have $29.57 million because they don't have $18 million from Leo Carlsson on the books yet.
I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't thought about Anthony Mantha at all at any point over the past few weeks.
Okay, can I interest you in Patrick Kane?
Yeah, I mean, isn't the expectation that he's going to go to Buffalo?
Yeah,
Why
is
isn't
that
that
the
happened
expectation,
yet?
or did one idiot on Twitter that likes to make shit up say that?
Who's got cool jerseys? Because Patrick Kane cares about cool jerseys.
Dude,
You can't tell me that he
I'm
doesn't.
sorry. I'd like to take this moment to apologize to absolutely nobody because the speed with which I would acquire a Patrick Kane hometown remix jersey would blow minds. It would be so quick.
Sabres?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I was implying, by the way. Yeah.
That would be a perfect one. I've got a lot more hometown remix news, by the way, that I think will sprinkle throughout the summer. But yeah, got another look at the Sabres one, and it is you're gonna like it a lot, Sean. How about Vladimir Tarasenko?
88 on the back.
Vladimir Tarasenko is an interesting one because I have no idea like what he is, because he had a really good year, but I was shocked by how good a year he had.
So was I.
Yeah.
Every
I
time
distinctly
someone has
remember
gotten
being in
Vladimir, I remember when that trade happened. I was like,
I remember us talking about it and being like, man, that guy, what happened? That guy used to be on the cover of the NHL game. What happened to him?
That's a real buyer beware. That's kind of like it's not to the same degree as Arvidsson, but it has like the same sort of energy where it's like really good year. I don't know if I'd invest in him to do that again based off of who he was in the years prior to that. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see him go back to Minnesota if possible.
how about Eli Tolvanen?
I'll be honest, I haven't thought about that guy at all either.
Morgan Wiley. Is a trade ever going to happen?
I don't care.
This is like the worst episode of 32 Thoughts ever. I'm Kyle setting up Elliot. If Elliot fucking hates hockey, he's like, all right, what do you got? Do you have any thoughts on Eli Tolvanen? I hate you worse than your wife does.
You want me to have produce Morgan Riley thoughts in 2026?
I do.
I would like for him to go to San Jose, because it'd be really funny if they were just like, you said we need defensemen? How about we collect all the ones that everybody hates?
Well, apparently, Toronto was hopeful that something could happen with San Jose, but San Jose was like, second Darnell Nurse says yes to us. We are taking him instead.
yeah.
Sean, you have something?
Seattle Kraken. That just do that. I don't know. I don't know if they need. I don't know what their roster situation is like. I don't know if it makes a goddamn lick of sense, but that is a big. I cared about you in like 2022, 2023. Just put them together.
I feel like Mantha would be a good Seattle Kraken.
Oh no, that's too on the nose.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I love
What is
saying
the reason that you
good.
don't think that he would be a good Seattle Kraken is because he would be a great Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, but I know what you mean by like he would be an accurate Seattle Kraken,
Yeah.
but that's not good.
There's become like one of those like yes no charts where it's like are they a free agent, and then it's like are they random, and if it's yes, and it's like are they cool and random, And then if it's a yes, they go to the Washington Capitals. If they're boring and random, they go to the Seattle Kraken.
Exactly. Did they score
Such a
18
good way
goals
to
last
put it.
year? Yes. Was it awesome? Not sure. Seattle
Do you
Kraken.
know their name? Yes. Do you know anything else about them? No. Are they
Such
fun?
a good way.
Yes.
Sean
Washington
just
Capitals.
working the free agency sorting pile.
A sorting hat, but just
This
for
is-
random players.
Can this be the Seattle Kraken's investigation into themselves? Just watch any conversation that we have about the Seattle Kraken. That's your investigation, okay? Everyone has decided what you are. Change.
I mean, they're just
They've tried though.
They're
That's
just that
fix it.
fucked up Goofy meme, which is I'll fucking do it again, and it's them just signing every random ass middle six forward.
But they don't want to.
Gorf.
It seems like they do want to because they're handing out those contracts.
Because the
Yeah, I
good
don't know if it's a
players that
want.
they try to get won't go there.
I mean, I don't think
These are
I don't
all
think
their
it's-
fifth
I don't
choices.
think- I
Victim of
don't think that it's the only thing they want to do, but it is the only thing they actually do.
It's horrible. I fucking hate it, man. Let's bring on, do we have Tom?
Yep.
All right. Fresh off, I believe, his show, the wonderfully named Tom Gazzolla Show in Edmonton. Dude, you're on a run, formerly of Oilers TV, right? You were doing the Tony Brier thing, right?
Yeah, before there was Tony Brier, there was Tom Gazzolla. So I was the first one here in Edmonton to do that. 8 years, guys, decade of darkness. I don't know how much you guys have talked about that on your show over the time you guys have been doing it, but I had a front row seat to some weird stuff.
Some are saying that it was all your fault because you
It
left
was.
and then no longer a decade of darkness.
Yeah, I blame myself, actually, and I'll be the punching bag for the city of Edmonton. I grew up here, and if it makes people here less miserable, I'll do it, because, boys, it can get miserable in the dark of winter here.
I will say, I'll glaze real quick. Oilers TV has done a great job identifying very handsome men because you're very handsome, great hair. Tony Brier, very handsome, great hair.
Thanks, Pete. You know what a great introduction. I appreciate that very much, and as I like to say, this is all Swedish hair cream. My head looks like a tennis ball when I get a haircut, so it's kind of in that weird phase right now. I apologize for that, but I appreciate that. Super nice.
Did you, when in the 24 Cup final, the intro videos that Tony did, were you like, fuck, I could have yelled even louder than him?
Let's just say Tony and I have a different style. Tony's great at the hype. I was more telling you what's going on with the team, and I had to gloss over some really bad losses during that time. And you can't BS Oilers fans. And when there was a bad loss in St. Louis where they stunk and were down 3-0 in the first 4 minutes, like you couldn't sell a bunch of crap to Oilers fans. So I had to choose my words carefully, and I actually pride myself in being able to do that. So I came from anchoring news back when, local news stations were the go-to. I was a sports anchor really early in my career, and so that was kind of the way I went about the job, and it's obviously evolved over the years, and Tony has made it his own. I was not the guy that would hop on and start pumping up the crowd, screaming, "Let's go, Edmonton!" Like that's just not me. I don't have that in me. Tony's got some skill sets that I don't have. So I'm more the dorky news guy I'll tell you how it went today. I don't want to lie to you, and maybe it's a little less exciting and less yelling. I won't destroy your ears either in the process.
Well, this has piqued my interest because you said that you got very good at being able to have like a nice conversation about something that maybe wasn't so good. Tell us about how this season of The Bear is good then.
That's the cooking show?
Yeah, shit sucks, brother.
I am not.
Yeah,
enjoying
I
it.
can't put myself through that. Like that's not one of my jams. I'm stuck here playing MLB The Show. Like I'm nerding out on that. I'd rather do that instead of watch The Bear. Like the last series I actually watched was Spider Noir with Nick Cage. Like what a weirdo and what a perfect guy for that. That was my last, I'm going to binge watch this, and I went through it in about 2 days. But yeah, The Bear, everybody talks about it. I'm not a foodie. I don't get into that kind of stuff. I'm sitting there trying to make Tommy Gazzolla a good shortstop for the Arizona Diamondbacks in the show. Fascinated with this game. This is my first game that I bought for baseball on a PS platform since like MVP Baseball 2005, which is, in my opinion, still the GOAT.
Best game.
The GOAT.
Shout out Manny.
This guy knows ball, and you're appealing to Sean very deeply. Huge MLB The Show guy, huge Road to the Show guy, massive Diamondbacks guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting heat from like our audience on our station because like some of them don't know me or don't know the ins and outs of like my personality, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care about the Blue Jays. Sorry, everyone. Like, I know they're Toronto's team. I don't call them Canada's team. If they lose, that's too bad. On to the next day. But I said the bandwagon with the D-backs is always there for you. It's very casual, very laissez-faire, and we had a family home down in Arizona for years and years and years, so I became a D-backs fan. And then, like, I suffer through Cardinals games every Sunday during the football season. That's my punishment.
Tough.
That's the worst sounding thing ever.
I'm stubborn. I'll stick through it.
Okay, we've been doing a lot of offer sheet chat on this show for obvious reasons. You being an Edmonton guy know offer sheets more than I think you would like to. My thing with what's going on with the Ducks right now is, like, how did they not see what happened with the Oilers 2 years ago and not try to protect against it? Like, given that the Oilers went out, spent money on July 1 in 2024, and they were like, whatever. Like, they were over the cap by the time their guys got offer sheeted, so it was a little different with how reckless they got. But are you surprised that, like, with how damaging that was for the Oilers, that a team could be so loosey-goosey about their own RFAs?
And how about Pat Verbeek kind of teasing everybody, saying, hey, if you're going to offer sheet them, we're going to match it. Well, Danny Brier said, oh, yeah, let's see what you do here now, big boy. I mean, I think there should have been some warning and a heads up and an understanding of what could happen if you're not careful with your prospects and guys that you've drafted, developed, and especially with Leo Carlsson being really careful in his first year with how they incorporated him into the lineup and giving him the time off to get used to playing a North American schedule. You're playing with fire. And the Oilers are a great example of, if you're not careful with your assets and protecting them and being aware of what could happen to them, if you're not smart with how you do your business, then you know, it's kind of on you to suffer the consequences. So, you know, I think, to me, like, when I saw what happened after you heard Pat Verbeek say, yeah, we'll match anything, it seemed like he just put his foot in his mouth, and all of a sudden now he needs to put his money where his mouth was, and it's going to cost the owners. And I know, you know, $18 million a year for billionaires isn't necessarily a major issue, but it affects the rest of the roster. It affects what you do with what you plan going ahead years down the road. Guys get jealous if one player who's only been in the league for a few years is making bank like that. I mean, Leo Carlsson's going to make $5.5 million more a year than Connor McDavid, who's the best player in the world right now. Macklin Celebrini, like, what's he getting next contract? Is he going to get $20 million? If I was him, I'd want it. I mean, you could be a good, humble Canadian kid and say, you know what, I want to be team friendly. But if I was him, I want those honey buns, boys. I want the big ticket. And this has reset the bar. I called it like a move of tectonic proportions in the National Hockey League, with the way it's just rocked everything, and with the cap going up. Like, I think if you're a GM in the NHL, you should be talking to your capologist at all times. I think with your robust front office, because there's so many AGMs on every team with every franchise. I think the Oilers have like 5 or 6 right now, bringing it back home here. You should be planning things out. What's worst case scenario? What's best case scenario? Who might come after us? Like, I think that has to be part of your strategy. It's almost like planning for war in a way, because you're going to get attacked, man. And Philly's doing it to the Anaheim Ducks. And there's been, you know, some cross-mogination between those two teams in recent years. And if you're not ready for all potential outcomes, it's on you to suffer the consequences. So this has been crazy.
Is there an outcome where the Ducks don't match that you could see them sort of quickly recovering from losing Leo Carlsson?
Maybe, but like you just wasted all that time and effort in turning him into what he is now and what he's probably going to be, and that's a number one center for a long time, probably a 100-point guy. If they don't match him and they get those 4 first-rounders, I would imagine you would try to turn those into players who can kind of fill the gap right now. You'd have to get creative. You'd have to identify a bunch of guys that you think are ready to make the jump. You'd have to convince those other GMs to make those deals. I think you'd create a ton more work for yourself to just get to where you were almost. And I know there's like a lot of promise with the Ducks. We just watched them beat the Oilers in 6 games, and Cutter Gauthier was fantastic. Beckett Seneca is on the up and up. Like, he's been a great pickup for them and a pleasant surprise. And going back to the draft and what he was, that expression on his face when he got drafted, well, man, he's been fantastic. So there are a lot of good pieces in Anaheim, and maybe they could, cover up a huge gap if they lose Carlsson. But I think the best case scenario for them is to eat this crap sandwich that they fed themselves and pay up and keep him going and make sure the program stays on course, because they do have a good thing building up in a weak Pacific Division.
So you talked about Celebrini, and I believe only one player in NHL history since the cap came in to be in 2004 that has taken the maximum allowable, which is 20% of the salary cap. That was Brad Richards. Do you I think Elliot was talking about it on 32 Thoughts, where like that negotiation just might go, if you want the max, you get the max. But sort of like Connor McDavid on his second contract, where it's like, this is what we're willing to give you. If you want less, basically tell us. Do you think that we will get to a point because of this contract where you're going to start seeing players offered and possibly taking 20%?
I also don't think he's going to be the only one. I think like Cale Makar is going to be in that boat too.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. That's the market, and McDavid's from a different generation, not far off from Celebrini. Obviously, I know there's an age gap there, but McDavid to Crosby is a different generation. Like, Crosby's the guy that we think of, old school team player, 8.7 million per year. Just wants the team to succeed. Like, it feels like those types of personalities are becoming fewer and far between. And like, I know Connor McDavid, he's his own beast. He thinks a very unique way compared to everyone else, whether it's a normal person or someone else who's a superstar in their respective sport. Like, McDavid is unique from those people as well. And he has an element to him where he looks at what's best for the team. He understands the pressures of what the NHLPA would probably want, and obviously those around him. When you're the best player, you need to get paid. But it was unique in what he did last year and taking that very modest contract, staying at $12.5 million. I think we are entering an era where guys and their personalities and how they think about the business side of the game are probably more likely to be open to taking that big payday. And add to the fact, guys, that the NHL is doing really well revenue-wise, and we're watching the cap go further and further up, where that 20% 1 year in a year or two might be completely different and less of a burden on a team's overall cap, and the owners are willing to pay for it. So with the growth in the game, the growth in the cap, we might look at a fat $20 million a year contract a year or two from now and go, wow, that's amazing. And then, the next 2 years down the road, we're going, oh, it wasn't so bad.
Okay, you being an Edmonton guy, we want to hit some of the Oilers offseason because we did a little bit of it after, on our July 1 episode, but the Oilers kept doing shit after that. So let's kind of reset Oilers shit. Sean, if you could throw up the offseason graphic there. They said goodbye, of course, to Chris Knobloch, Darnell Nurse, Connor Ingram. We assume. I don't think they're doing 4 goalies, but he's still out there as a free agent. Jack Roslovic went to the Leafs. In comes for some fucking reason. Mike Babcock, Ryan Shea, that's a good get. Freddie Anderson, Shakir Mukmadulin, Devin Levi, and Matthew Joseph. Don't sleep on the penalty killing Matthew Joseph. I'm going to quickly do, Sean, Sports Interaction. Sportsbook and Casino. Every game is your game, and you bet with Sports Interaction. Bet the action on every period, every shift, every shot with Canada's homegrown sportsbook, Sports Interaction. Ontario only 18 plus. Please play responsibly. I set that up because the Oilers have the 5th best odds to win the Stanley Cup next season, or this season, I suppose, at plus 900 behind the Panthers, the Avalanche, the Hurricanes, and the Golden Knights. Tom, when you look at the Oilers right now, how do you feel about them going into this season?
I think those odds are pretty optimistic from an Oilers standpoint, to be honest with you. Like, I think they're going to be a better team than they were last year. I think the fatigue factor, the mental burden that they went through the last couple of years, a lot of deep runs, obviously 2 Cup finals, I think that did affect them last year. They only had 2 3-game winning streaks all season long. One of them, they made a 5-game winning streak, and those were late in the year. Like, that's an issue. The Joseph signing, good point about the PK, because it sucked last year, especially in the playoffs. It needs a lot of work and fine-tuning. I would call the Oilers today a good team. They'll be improved over last year just because of the rest and recuperation. You've got McDavid, you got Draisaitl. Zach Hyman isn't going to have to start the year a month in because of a wrist injury. Like, they're in a better spot. Listen, the moves that they made, Darnell Nurse getting out of here, maybe that gets a dark cloud out of the locker room, because knowing him his first few years compared to the last couple, different type of demeanor from Darnell, from my knowing him and being around him for the last decade. And I think that was the noise that came with the contract and the lack of performance and expectation that came with that contract. Like, he wasn't meeting it. I think that was a good thing to get him out of here, and maybe we don't have that saga ongoing. There's some promise in Mukmadulin. I know Shea is an interesting and should be a decent pickup. Like, on paper, they're still an okay team. I think they're going to be better because of the rest. I don't think they're a contender just yet. They're going to still need to make a couple of moves. They can do that in season, and we'll see what a healthy Connor and Leon can do to propel them. And obviously, Zach Hyman being a part of that. Bouchard's super important to that. Goaltending, guys, like, listen, 3-headed goalie monster. Never
monster
good.
Is an interesting choice of word there.
Yeah, like, every time we've experienced it, it's happened here in years past. You talk to the guys individually, they don't like it. You see it in other markets, they don't generally seem happy about it. And I know Stan Bowman talked about it happening more around the league. I know Buffalo kind of did it. We just saw Carolina do it with success. But I think that circumstance in both markets is different than Edmonton. Like, here, we're talking about Freddie Anderson getting a cheap contract for maybe 30-some starts in the regular season. Then, oh yeah, he's your mercenary in the playoffs. That's weird. Tristan Jarry is a guy that the fans don't want around here. They didn't like the way he ended the season. It wasn't good. They're hoping that he comes back reinvigorated and can find his game. All right, but he's going to need to play to find his confidence, don't you think? And then if he's got 2 other guys waiting for their turn, what does that do to a guy's head? And we know goalies are weird to begin with. Like, seriously. And then Devin Levi's trying to prove himself at the NHL level, and now he's going to be here. Like, it's created this weird scenario that I think is uncharted territory for a lot of teams, especially here in Edmonton. So who knows? And then I laughed at the Mike Babcock thing, because do I think it was a good hire? No. Does it mean it won't work? No, it could work, and there's a good chance that there will be some positivity from it. But, I mean, they just fired a guy that went to 2 Cup finals and lost in the first round with a bunch of guys injured. So this organization, it did good work on July 1st. I will give Stan Bowman and Jeff Jackson credit, but there's been so many head scratchers around here, you guys, and the fans are living and dying with this team. And I think there's been positivity, which has been good, but so many times in the last couple of years, we look at the moves and go, what are they doing? And so they're a bit of a quagmire to me, to be honest.
See, I have a bad feeling they're going to start the season really strong. I'm going to be like, oh, fucking great. Now they can't fire Babcock. Now they're like gonna let all this ride, and then at some point late in the season or after the deadline, we're gonna look at what this is and say like, Jesus Christ, they need this, they need this, they need this. Why did they believe that all of this was gonna be sustainable? I liked the Anderson signing. I am kind of confused by the 3 goalie thing. If I were them, I would just bury Tristan Jarry, get that extra 1.2 mil. And Tyler Yaremchuk has brought up the point of like, you don't need to bring that much cap space into the season, because if you just accrue, it's not like you're going to actually be able to add $30 million worth of something at the deadline when you're going to have to be compliant in the playoffs. But I like them keeping the $6-ish million in cap space they have right now. I would have been fine with Giroux, but I didn't really care about it too strongly. I do think, like Sean, we were looking at it before, like, I don't think you're crazy if you think that the Oilers have the 5th best odds, because at the end of the day, it's a better roster than it was last year. I think they'll miss Nurse, but I think that Shea's a good get. I think that like the 2 biggest X factors on this team, other than whoever's playing goalie, are Jake Wallman and Ike Howard. Because if Ike Howard is really good and can play with McDavid or Draisaitl, I think that like offensively you're in business. And if Wallman can handle a lot of minutes and not fuck around, and not get murdered by Mike Babcock at some point, then I think you're in business there. But there's still so many what ifs, but that's the Oilers experience.
I was on that same sort of track. 2 X factors. Ike Howard jumps out to me, but my other one was Matthias Ekholm for like similar reasons, where like you don't necessarily need Jake Wallman to have those minutes and be that guy if Matthias Ekholm can bounce back. But he's old and he's got a lot of mileage. And so, like, I would agree with you. It just kind of in a different direction. So.
They have so many defensemen, though. Like, if one of those guys, like, if Shea is better than we thought, and I'm still confused as to why the Penguins let Ryan Shea go. That seemed like a really logical signing for them, but whatever. I'm an Oilers fan. I can't question Kyle Dubas. Guy fucking smokes my GM all the time. But 8 defensemen signed. Who do you think? Like, I don't think that they would have, like, maybe they don't like McMadulan as much as we thought, but Bowman talked about him with Bob as though he's someone that they want to kind of work with and continue to develop. So is it Stastny's out?
Yeah, and they just re-upped him. Let's see how they do. Like, we've been having this conversation the last couple of days specifically. Let's see what the injury bug looks like, because Wallman does have a history getting nicked up quite often. That has happened in his time here, especially last season. You guys are right for bringing up Ekholm. Like, the Viking, he's into his late 30s now. He's dealt with some injuries. He should be starting to go down the pecking order when it comes to the pairings on the blue line. But he's still the guy kind of keeping Evan Bouchard afloat defensively. And there are people that will argue and throw, the advanced metrics at you, tell you that Bouchard's a good defensive defenseman. But listen, guys, when you're jumping out of the way of shots and you're scared to muck it up in front of your own net, you're not good defensively. Until you engage, there's holes in your defensive game. And unfortunately, at times, and last season specifically, Bouchard has struggled with that. When he wants to get in there and muck it up and play like a 6'3" veteran defenseman, he can, which is encouraging. It's just it hasn't been consistent. So the back end's weird, and yeah, there might have to be a move. Stastny, they talked about him being Brett Kulak light. Brett Kulak's a few inches taller, plays a more robust, tougher game, mixes it up more. Brett Kulak to me is a step or two above, mixed in with the experience that he has over Stastny. So I don't think that they're on the same level. I wouldn't even call Stastny a Kulak light. And then the guy that is kind of getting forgotten in here is Ty Emberson, who Edmonton traded for a couple of years ago. Patient with him, put in the time, gave him another contract, and he's kind of fallen by the wayside. And he really hasn't done anything to not have the trust and be a guy that's looked at as someone who could be a decent third pairing guy at Edmonton. He had a better year last year. He improved. He's tracking the way a young defenseman should. I think he's going to be 26 next year. He's going into a couple hundred games in the National Hockey League, and all of a sudden, maybe he's on the outside looking in, and of no fault of his own. So it's interesting what they've done on the back end, and especially with the 3 goalies. Like, it's going to be even harder to juggle the roster. What happens if you have an injury at forward? And then I'm glad you guys brought up Ike Howard too. He had a great year down in Bakersfield, like really solid, and he got a lot of recognition and praise for his game in the AHL. How does that translate this upcoming season when he gets his chance in the NHL? There's a precedent there with Matt Savoy, who's turned into a really good everyday NHLer. He's still a young guy trying to, show everyone he can take the next step as an everyday NHLer. And now you got Ike Howard, who's supposed to be this finisher for them. He's a smaller guy. He's got to find his game at the NHL level, and there's going to need to be patience with him because I'm sure there's going to be growing pains. So there are a lot of question marks. And like Muka Madulin, I'm intrigued, and I think there's a lot of promise there. So this team, there's never a dull moment with them. They're full of drama, and there's a million questions that come with this team going into training camp in the fall.
Also worth pointing out, on the Emberson trajectory, he was famously a Knobloch guy. Played for Knobloch in the AHL.
Very good.
So,
yeah, I thought you were going to say famously traded for Cody Ceci.
No,
on Emberson, I would sign him right now. I would extend him because he's going into his walk year, and then he'll be a UFA after that. I am with you, Tom. Like, I've kind of liked everything I've seen from him, and he seems like a developing defenseman, someone who was good in the AHL, took him a second in the NHL, but I think is a fine third pairing right shot defenseman. Yeah. Problem is they kind of might have a lot of that at this point, but I like him, and if he's not going to cost a lot, then get him done. I'll also say, just on contracts, every time I look at the Oilers Puckpedia, which I do every day, and I see that 3 years remaining for Vasily Podkolzin at $2.9 million, I ask myself, what the fuck did that idiot know? I famously am not a Stan Bowman guy, but when he signed that extension, but like going into last year, they give him a basically 3 times 3 deal, and I'm like, ooh, that might end up like really good. That's an awesome contract, man.
Especially now with the way that the offseason has kind of shifted the market. Anybody who's under like $4 million is unbelievable. But you got a second line player making under like $3 million. Crazy.
I will tell you one thing Stan Bowman is good at, and it's just something involving Vasily Podkolzin. Acquiring him, extending him, that man's got the juice.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a good topic because I would get ripped on the post-game shows on my old station because I'd say, hey, he's a good top 9 forward. Obviously, he's in the top 6 with Edmonton. I don't know if they knew something about him. They just liked his intangibles and wanted to get him out of Vancouver because they could get him on a great deal and see what they had. But I'll give Podkolzin credit. Like, he's worked his ass off. You see him, he's the first guy on the ice at practice. He's usually out there late, doesn't take any morning skates that are optionals off. Like, the guy has put in the work. And I think maybe some of that comes from a lesson that he learned in Vancouver where he was a first rounder. There's all this expectation, had that one nice season to show some promise, and then things went sideways. Obviously, with the way things have gone in Vancouver and management and coaching and players and all that, he got kind of lost in the shuffle, and maybe something clicked in his mind, and he made it work here. And a thing that was brilliant from Podkolzin, and I think it's him that recognized his opportunity when they put him up with Leon Draisaitl, is that Leon likes guys that go in, get the puck, and give it right to him. That's pretty simple to do. Podkolzin's big, strong, and he's willing to engage. And guess what? A lot of his success comes from getting in the corner, going to the hard areas, being the first one from the Oilers to do it, usually winning that puck battle and finding number 29 in orange and blue. And oh, look at that. He's having career seasons. So I will give Stan Bowman and the Oilers brass credit for going out and getting Podkolzin, but I'll give the player a ton of credit for recognizing his opportunity, finding his spot with Leon Draisaitl, because that's where he has most of his success, and turning himself into a good option. And listen, I had a former Oiler who's a great broadcaster right now come in for a game late in the season, and we're sitting there watching in the press box, and he's like, man, Podkolzin, like, I love him. He's a dog. He's found his home on the second line with Draisaitl, but, he's He's a decent top 9 player on most other teams. I recognize that, and I feel the same way as this former player. But the big but is he has found his spot here in Edmonton with Leon Draisaitl riding shotgun there, and he's excelled at it, and he deserves all the credit in the world for that.
All right, last one. Do you think they do anything with Savoy this offseason? Because I'm sure that every GM who has made it past July 1 with an upcoming RFA is frantically or they're not, actually. I'm wondering, do GMs get on the phone with those agents and say, fuck, we don't want what happened with Leo Carlsson to happen with us, so let's do something right now? Or are they like, let's wait a couple of months so people forget that Leo Carlsson just cost $18 million?
Statue method. Just don't move. Maybe nobody will notice you.
Yeah. But do you think they try to do something with Savoy this offseason, or do they say we haven't seen enough, we want to make sure before we give you any sort of significant contract?
That's a good question. I mean, given the climate now around the National Hockey League and the harsh lesson the Oilers had to learn a couple of years ago, maybe be a little bit more proactive with your guy if you feel like he's going to be a piece that's going to be a pillar moving forward. All indicators are that Savoy is going to be a guy that you can rely on. He's not big, we know that, but he plays bigger than he actually is.
Fucking dude.
He's so sick.
Yes. And if he can stay healthy, which I think he can, knock on wood if you're an Oiler fan, that's a guy you want to keep around. He brings so much to the table, and once he found his game at the NHL level last year, I think it was coming out of the All-Star break or even the Olympic break, last year, you really start to see him go from being like a promising, pretty good middle six player to a guy that knows what he can do, and he's figuring out the little ins and outs and where his game can excel. And you could see that confidence day by day, game by game start to seep in. And by the end of the year, he was putting up points. He had nice little point streaks going. He was connecting with Draisaitl, and obviously he was getting looks with McDavid at times. And yeah, dog is a great way to put it. A small dog with big bite, and I think he's only going to get better. So I think for the Oilers' sake, you probably want to be proactive. And you have the blessing of the cap going up and finally having some wiggle room, even though they have some guys still that they're paying for after some buyouts, Jack Campbell being one of them.
Why? What happened?
Oh, how much time do we have, guys?
That was
that
was the first month of our show. We started our show a month into the 2023-24 season. So like the first 10 episodes were like, we swear we'll talk about other teams, but holy fuck, what is happening with the Oilers? And I was a Stu guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I stay a Stu guy.
Same.
If Campbell had worked out, and Tyler Remchuk says this all the time, if like Campbell had worked out or they had somebody to adequately split time with him, right now Stu would just be coming into his own, and like now they'd be handing the keys over to him, and there would be no such panic over him sometimes sucking.
It's funny,
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah, your Remchuk's right though. Like logically, they had to thrust Stu in there, and at times he handled it well, and other times he wasn't good. And Calvin Pickard, from an Oilers standpoint, thankfully had a good year as one of the best backups in the league 2 seasons ago, and then everything came crashing down last year. But they put Stu into a jam. He tried to work with it as best he could. Did it become an issue, and did he struggle at times? Maybe off the ice and dealing with all the pressure of being a hometown boy, dealing with a team that needs to win a Stanley Cup in the McDavid era. Yeah, probably. I saw Sam Gagner have like a 20-minute heart-to-heart with him during the second round against Vancouver a couple of years ago on the bench after practice. And I'm like, boy, like there's Papa Oiler in Sam Gagner, like talking to a young buck and trying to show him and tell him it's going to be okay. And, thankfully, in that postseason run, it was better for Stu Skinner, but there's been so many situations that the Oilers have created on their own, amongst multiple coaching staffs, front office staffs, that you look at and go, geez, you guys, what are you doing? And it continues to happen, but fortunately, I think they have the horses and thoroughbreds to lead them to maybe some long runs still with McDavid. And I think next year is going to be a bounce back year. But yeah, like never a dull moment. I always say it. This team is a soap opera every day.
I said probably a month ago when the Babcock rumors were starting, they're born on third and they just walk back to first base as much as they can. They're like, you get to be this team. What do you do with it? And the answer is always like appalling. But that's why we watch. It's our favorite show, Edmonton Oilers, and our second favorite show is the Tom Gazzolla Show on Sports 1440 at Edmonton. How you liking the new gig?
It's good. I love it. It's a change of pace. I couldn't do the split shift 14-hour days, early mornings in the studio, then the pre- and post-game shows on location at bars with drunk Oiler fans, which I love, but it got to be a bit much. So the 7 a.m. start time is good. We have an awesome crew here, so I get to still be around the team, more practices. I like being at the rink. That's my bread and butter. I love chatting it up and talking to the players and coaches and other media. That's where you get the good stuff. And then I cover CFL football here in Edmonton for TSN, so I get to be at the stadium a little bit more. This is good. It's good. I'm getting old, boys. I might look young. No wife, no kids, so I think that saved me from some gray hairs and some aging. But and I stayed off the darts, no cigarettes.
Lost me.
You know, at 40.
You're 40?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Fuck off.
Good for you.
For real.
That's ridiculous.
This is my 20th year. 20th year covering the Oilers. I started in college. Like I was Gene Principe's studio runner. I was his bitch, essentially, as I like to say, and got him coffee and game notes. And I did
Yes,
I would
we
love
like
to be Gene's
daddy.
bitch. That is my
let me
that
be
is
your
my
bitch.
dream job.
But it led to other gigs because you're around the rink and you're learning. You're doing the stuff that you need to become a reporter. And by the end of that season, I was working for The Score, which was still a national TV network. And being Gene's bitch proved to be good. And he's Uncle Gene to me, always will be. He's like family. So yeah, 20 years, and I just stayed off the darts, didn't get married and have kids. And I'm looking at all my buddies, bald, gray hair, miserable. Some of them divorced. They love their kids, don't get me wrong, but I was like, boy, that's not for me. So maybe that's where the Fountain of Youth came from.
I mean,
Fuck yeah, man.
Chat just turned into a absolute dating show. They're like, I'm also single, Tom. I'm single. Jeez, they're like 40 and single. Yeah, hello. Hi. So, but maybe poke your head into the chat, introduce yourself to some people if you're
That's the
interested.
thing, though.
Oh,
But
boy.
like in some of my single days, if I were to say anything like that, or like, hey, I got all this time to do whatever, people would be like, oh, you'll find someone. And I'm like, you're not fucking listening. I don't want to find someone. I want to watch The Sopranos a bunch. Okay?
Yeah.
What's not clocking to you? Sports and Sopranos and shit. And then I had to never fall in love, buddy. They're too likable. You find someone that you actually love, and you're like, God damn it, I do want to spend all this time with the person. It's the worst.
I know. Hey, one bit of advice on that front: don't date players' ex-wives. They'll break your heart.
Holy God.
Wasn't planning on it.
Wow. Greatest guest ever. How are the Elks
I'm
looking?
just saying.
Just hypothetically,
Elks-
you're saying.
Oh, yeah. Did you ask about how the Elks are doing?
Yeah, how are the Elks doing?
3-1, big game tomorrow against Ottawa. They should bounce back after a tough loss in BC.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, the Ottawa has an interesting name, right? Ottawa's the Red Blacks?
Yeah, so tomorrow it's the Green Yellows versus the Red Blacks at Commonwealth Stadium. But yeah, Edmonton, it's been tough football-wise. And listen, it's important here. I know people don't really pay attention to the CFL down in the U.S. We're on CBS Sports Network at times, too. I'll have buddies text me like, why the hell are you on my TV right now? I'm like, I'm just doing the game. What's wrong? And yeah, it's been rough going. Like, there's a good tradition of football here in Edmonton over the last 80 years, and the name change and all that stuff really drove people away. A lot of losing, a lot of coaching changes, regime changes, and new owner, local owner with big bucks and deep pockets behind them that have taken over, trying to rebuild the brand, and hopefully the 3-1 start gets people back at the stadium and people interested in the team, because this is a good football market. And we do love our NFL, of course, guys. You know that.
Chat just wants to be careful. You had given some advice to not date players' ex-wives. They want to make sure that they're safe. So specifically, which players' ex-wives should they not date? No. They're asking.
I'm just saying, in general, don't date players' ex-wives. I don't know why I would say something like that, but I hear it's a good thing not to do.
Yeah, you know, like sometimes you're leafing through the Bible, you're like, I wonder what that sentence means. Whatever. You just keep going.
Yeah, touche.
All right, it's the great Tom Gazzolla of the Tom Gazzolla Show on Sports 1440 in Edmonton. Buddy, you are the best. We'd love to have you back.
First but not last, hopefully.
Yes,
I mean,
for
chat
real.
will be begging us every episode moving forward to bring you back. So hope you had a good enough time for us to bother you again.
Guys, I loved it. Thanks for having me. Anytime you want, I'm here.
Hell yeah, appreciate you, buddy. Be good.
Thanks, boys.
All right, that is Tom Gazzolla. Oh, man, the Edmonton polycule chat right now is, I was going to say it's healthy, but I don't know if it's healthy.
I know one particular player's ex-wife that I would definitely not want to date.
Oh, the former Oiler?
Yes.
See, I have no idea who you could be talking about.
Pray for Tom's sake that is not who he was talking about. And in which case, if it were, I feel like I would like Pat Verbeek, and I'd be like, well, kind of did it yourself, pal.
I think that if that
the signs were there.
The funny thing is, I think he'd be like, I hope that player kicks my ass, and that player would be like, nah, I'm going to keep you alive.
Yeah. Yeah, I will save you. All right, what do we want to do next?
Do we want to quickly hit we should, I guess, hit Daniel Alfredsson to the Maple Leafs. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that. That's weird, huh?
Yes, I would have thought that if he kind of stayed in the biz, it would be with the Senators. But
well, he said as much. He said he wanted to. I don't know if you had seen. I don't know when that statement from him came out, but he said basically, he's like, "Would I wanted to be the head coach of the Ottawa Senators one day? Of course, but no one stays a coach for the same team the entire time, and they don't just hand out head coaching jobs." So
that's true. I mean, you just kind of got to work your way up the ladder, and it's just weird that it goes to Toronto. Like, that's the weird part about it, is not that he's changing teams, it's that he's going to Toronto. And I guess it's just another added layer to former Ottawa captains fucking off this summer.
How do we feel about the chuck out the old jersey promotion that Ottawa is running? The Senators are letting you trade in your officially licensed Fanatics Brady Tkachuk stitched jersey at Ottawa Team Threads, a Canadian Tire Center, and save 40% on regularly priced merch. Now, here's where they get you. How many seasons did Brady Tkachuk spend on the Senators in which Fanatics was making the jerseys? I mean, I guess breakaway jerseys would always be the Fanatics, but I don't think that any self-respecting captain jersey buying fan is going for the breakaway. So if you got a Brady Tkachuk jersey, like when Brady Tkachuk got drafted or once Brady Tkachuk established himself, he's there for a few years, you can't trade that shit in. Which honestly, I would say then, like, you've had that jersey for like 100 years, you don't get to trade it in.
I mean, that's not true, because you get to trade it in at an Ottawa Titans game, Frontier League. They did it too. They'll take any Brady Tkachuk jersey, and they'll give you this guy's jersey, AJ Wright, another 7 jersey. But as far as
I'm
like
not doing that trade,
I think I might do that trade just to,
I would do that trade
to say
heartbeat.
fuck you to Brady Tkachuk. And that's kind of where I land on the behavior grade of it all, is that I want Ottawa to lean in on fuck Brady Tkachuk, because he fucked you. Like, absolutely. We said this in the immediate aftermath of the Tkachuk stuff. When your captain and the leader of your team basically forces his way out to go play little brother in Florida, absolutely turn on that guy. Absolutely turn on him. Make him enemy number one. I'm happy that Ottawa's doing everything they can to sort of proceed with that narrative, and good on them. I do want to get back to the Daniel Alfredsson Matt Sundin Leafs connection thing because it brought up something that I didn't remember from the 2000s, and it's an incredible piece of lore. So during the playoffs one year, Matt Sundin broke his stick, threw it into the crowd, got suspended because that's a suspendable thing. And the game in which he was suspended, the Daniel Alfredsson went off. Senators beat the Leafs 7-1, and Alfredsson faked throwing his stick into the crowd after breaking his stick in basically the exact same spot, and it's incredible. Sean, you want to play the video? So that's Sundin breaking his stick, hucks it into the crowd.
Best Leafs
Absolutely
jerseys.
cannot do that, by the way.
Absolutely cannot do that.
The referees are
Ends up getting a penalty, gets suspended.
Alfredsson tries the one-timer again.
He faked like he was going to throw it. How good is that? And the Leafs are all over him. The bench is all over Daniel Alfredsson. I guess you're not allowed to have a sense of humor.
That
Of
hair.
course, when you're getting beat 7-1, that is probably not the best move in the world.
Daniel Alfredsson was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
That
So
That
hair,
was my takeaway from that.
yeah, just had the look. That's one of those you're like, I don't know what it is, but he has it. I know damn well what it is. It's looking like him.
It kind of looks like Tulski. Tulski in the parking lot of Lenovo Center.
Well, a lot of times GMs are former players. So is Eric Tulski former player Daniel Alfredsson? That shit's good. And also, as I said, those Leafs jerseys were the fucking best. With those like borderline Rainforest Cafe ass numbers, that was
Deeply
the good
unserious.
shit. Yes, yeah. Well, welcome to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Welcome to Agganis Arena, which will be the new home of the Boston Fleet. That's announced yesterday by the Fleet. That is so amazing. If you have listened to us talk about the Fleet at all on the show, you know Pete and I have lamented not being able to go to more games because they played at Songus Arena in Lowell.
I wouldn't say
And
not being able to.
quite frankly,
Not
we're
being
just
willing to.
we're just not doing that. Okay? Like if
Too high a
Oilers
barrier of
games
entry.
if Oilers games were at Songus Arena, I would go to as many Oilers games a year as I go to now, which is maybe one, but I have to travel. I would rather fly to Edmonton, which takes two. You have to switch planes.
You would probably go to more Oilers games because you would travel somewhere and you'd like try to get the most bang for your buck in Edmonton versus like you're not getting a hotel room in Lowell.
Just not doing it. Respectfully or disrespectfully, whatever you want, just not doing it. But I don't have to now because they now play 10 minutes from me, which is amazing. It seemed like that always made sense. I don't know why they didn't do it last year, but whatever. Best time to plant a tree yesterday, or best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time to plant a tree is today, I guess. I love that shit. And I thought about putting down the season ticket deposit, and I was like, hold your fucking horses. Can't go to, you still got to watch like the other hockey games for your job, but I will be.
There's like, what, 15 regular season games for PWHL?
No, it's a new CBA, 100 now.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
100
they are
home
adding
games.
teams, so I'd have to imagine they are playing more games.
That
Maybe, I don't
shit.
know how that affects it.
I am very excited, and they're going to sell it every game. And
Oh yeah,
it stinks because maybe the team right now is maybe taking a slight dip, but I don't fucking care. It just feels like I'll be on the ground floor.
I hope they sell it every game, but I believe that they sold out 4 of 6 that they played. But that was before like
That was before the
PWHL's
boom.
exploded. They
That
just
was-
sold out the TD Garden. So this is obviously a smart move. Great move. I will be there. Agganis is also awesome. So big fan. I love this move.
I might look into, just so I can say I'm a season ticket holder of something. That seems kind of professional.
Might do splitsies with
we-
you.
I mean, we
I was
could
gonna
do
say-
it. I mean, famously, we have a business. Don't people
Have
get season
seasons for
tickets for
clients.
like tax purposes all the time?
box.
For your clients. When
Yeah.
you have to put on a little song and dance for your clients,
But
Wine
like,
and dine.
potential business partners.
that is, you're right.
This seems like a cash grab.
That's
yeah, you got to
what-
take your business partners out, the potential business partners, Pete, your best friend, always potential business partner. You have a business. You will be doing more business. Take your potential business partners out to a hockey game. Show them the town.
I mean, your current business partner could also be a potential future business partner.
That's what I'm saying.
We're trying to keep the business
partners.
alive.
You're going to have business in the future. You got business to do tomorrow.
Put it on our taxes as business upkeep.
That's right. This is huge.
Trying to keep no, I mean
Aaliyah says you absolutely cannot expense that. Aaliyah, respectfully,
Watch us?
Are you a cop?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Fucking
Sorry,
Fed,
tax doctor.
IRS person.
Why don't you audit your own team? They're in a bit of financial trouble.
That's the wine and dining you're doing. You're wine and dining Jason Robertson to come to the Boston Bruins. You love Boston. Look at all the hockey you've got
chat
here.
on my tax fraud podcast. Oh boy, yeah, we're gonna look into that. Okay, and whatever we do, just
It's a write-off.
it's okay. It's yes, exactly.
I love just calling shit a write-off when
That's
it
a tax
absolutely
grab.
is not a
That's
write-off.
the Schitt's Creek thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They did do that. Yeah.
He doesn't know what a write-off is. He just says you just write it off. That's what we'll be doing. Let's do This Week in Cages because Sean, we were talking about a little bit. You were driving to the World Cup. You went to a World Cup game with Young Gritty. You had a blast. And
I did.
It was on the way that you saw Cages?
Literally in the middle of fucking nowhere, Pennsylvania, saw Cages and strongly considered pulling over. Quite honestly, one of the main reasons I didn't was because I wasn't going to have someone to be able to film that shit. And as much as if I had a lot of free time, I would 100% go to the Cages for fun. I don't need it to be content, but in that situation, considering that I was in a little bit of a time crunch, it was a long day. It would have been for content there. But I didn't have anybody to film it, so I ended up not stopping. But the Cages were on my mind for sure.
I was driving back from Vermont and saw it was golf plus ice cream plus batting cages.
That makes sense.
Your boy
Considering
fucking
the setup.
screeched off the road and
almost crashed his car on the Leo Carlsson offer sheet. Did crash his car for batting cages and ice cream.
yes, and did the most insincere. Let's get you some ice cream. that shit had nothing to do with ice cream. Okay, nothing to do with fucking ice cream. But we stopped. I already had a coffee, so I didn't need anything. Got Julia an ice cream, hit the fucking Cages. I was like, they got Cages. Should I do it? And she was like, feel like you're going to no matter what. You've been talking about hitting the Cages for 2 years now. Got in the Cages. These were some interesting Cages. They were not caged in.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could really call them cages.
Yeah, I feel like this was a
driving
fence. This is like that's not even a fence. That's a net. These are nets.
Yeah, there was
Rail
a net,
screen.
and then there were cages on the sides to separate me from the people next to us, which
Partitions.
was partitions. Shout out Beyonce. And next to me there was a guy with his 2 young sons, and his kids were taking some hacks. But that guy was there to fucking deposit bombs. He was crushing them. It was amazing. Let me think if there's any. I should tell you.
I did see a photo, but I have to ask. No video?
There is video.
Oh, okay.
I will give you video, and I will warn you. The machine was not working. It was a problem.
Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Here
gonna
we
say,
go.
No.
Guy
Are the
next to
nails
you
in the
was
house a failure?
depositing bombs,
Yeah.
but your machine wasn't working. Likely story.
I had to really fuck with the audio and turn it way down because it had a intolerable whir that you will hear.
Okay.
A very high-pitched whir.
It'd be a shame if you drowned it out with the pings.
Well, that's the thing. You will be getting that. And I will say there were a couple, God fucking damn it, where I would blast one. Look back, and
Julia
guess
must
who's
have made it.
balls deep in some fucking ice cream.
I knew it. I knew that there would be a blame Julia portion of this.
And I was
blasted
yelling
a
at
few
her.
to the moon, but Julia was distracted and missed
This
him.
guy next to me's wife is on her phone the whole time. She's not doing anything. So like, I don't know if she just thinks that she can take after her or whatever. I'm like, what are you fucking here for? Because she took
God
some videos
forbid my
and she was
significant
like,
other not give a shit about my little games. I'm out here living my dream as fucking Ken Griffey Jr. and she's trying to enjoy her ice cream. How dare
1
her.
hour.
wait, are you on my side here?
No.
Yeah, no. 1 hour and 55 minutes for anybody at home keeping track of when it would take for DJ to throw Julia under the bus.
I did in Vermont. We went to this like coffee roaster place that was amazing, and we get our coffee, and we're talking, and the guy who served it to us was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, is your name DJ? I recognize your voice." And Julia was like, "Audio listener in the wild." That's fucking amazing. And I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you, DJ. His name is Sam. Is awesome. We talked Bruins for a while. Very cool guy." And I was like, "You don't need to know who this is. She's banned." And she was like, Stop introducing me as being banned. If Patreon listeners understand why she's banned, and she should be banned.
I don't
anyway,
think Patreon listeners don't
no one agreed with me
why
banning
she's banned.
No.
They understand how she got banned.
Also, using ice cream as the excuse to pull over so that you could hit the cages, and then blaming Julia for paying attention to her ice cream while you're in the cages is so funny.
In what I have to imagine was like an 85-degree day because it's been hot. She's in a little bit of a time crunch there too. If she's trying to eat ice cream, doesn't have all day.
and the thing was, she was taking video. She like took video of her own choice. And like I could hear like she would have like an enthusiastic like giggle if I hit one and was like, "Yeah, I fucking ripped that" or whatever. And then when she would sit back down and I would hit one, I would turn back and yell at her.
You're on the clock, Julia.
Yeah. I was like, that thing, you weren't being nice when you were doing that. That's your fucking job. Anyway.
Yeah, that you getting paid an ice cream.
What do I pay you for?
I love her more than I've loved anything in this world. Here is some of the short video that she took.
Wait, real quick. Do we have an MPH on the pitching?
No, but when I say that the thing wasn't working, it was every like fourth or fifth ball, it would get to the feeding thing and then it would go like, "Bah," and it would like spit it out. So that was like a weird false start. And then
God
one,
forbid.
I wish this guy were here. The guy next to me were here. He saw it. It fucking threw it at. It threw at me one time. And I was like, and he was like,
Get off the
"Oh, you
fucking
got to
plate."
charge the mound." And I was like,
Even the little
Yeah.
freaks are sick of your shit.
yeah. No, but the thing is,
Get off the little plate.
guess what happened next pitch?
Get off the plate. Stop crowding the plate.
I was
crowding
gonna say,
the
guess
plate.
what happened next pitch after it threw at me?
Off speed, outside.
I like fucking like waved at it
Yep.
because it backed me off. And
I was
I
gonna
missed.
say, God forbid a pitcher mix up his pitches, go a little
right.
off speed, keep you on your toes.
Yeah, I liked it. All right,
This little freak knows ball.
here's J. Walter iPad says, "That's what the ice cream is for." Don Draper voice.
So good.
All right.
I'm so excited to see this video now. Oh,
Right back at.
Oh, so
it's like, oh, I mean,
that one I laced. So that was a good
follow
one.
through A minus.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I was looking back at the video. I was. I took every swing like it was an 0-2 count. Like I was more like
trying to put it in play.
Yeah, I
Protect
was
the
more
plate,
like
yeah.
knocking
There's some
down
chops there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it was kind of axe-like.
But if you so this sucks. If you can show the first one again, Sean, I put a little marker on it so you could see where the ball went, but then it just made it look like I fouled it off. I
that's
really
what
That's
shot
what
it
I
up
thought.
the gut.
Yeah, I thought that came back at the
Same.
camera.
Yeah, so I shot it up the gut, which was it was like a decent little piece. But yeah, one of the better ones was this one. Like that one would have gotten down for a double.
Got to keep those arms extended.
So
Wait,
what
I
am
have a very important question here. Are those softballs?
Looked like it.
No.
Because that was a
They
softball
were-
bat
That was a softball bat?
for sure.
Oh.
I mean, those were yellow balls. I just assumed that they were softballs.
I don't think they were yellow. I don't know.
No,
if
they were like hard. They weren't like baseballs,
Okay.
but they were. You know what I'm talking
Like
about?
a
They got like
hybrid?
the little like holes on them.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have, or they have like little
Divots.
divots.
They're kind of built like a golf ball.
But they
Yeah.
were baseball size, not softball size.
Yeah, but I'll say first time in the cages, I definitely had. Those weren't my best. Those weren't my best hits, but I also had. I probably had 3 swings and misses. One of which came after being backed off the plate, and that was the most embarrassing one because it was just like confirmed. I'm such a fucking bitch.
My problem with batting cages is that like if I go to a batting cage, I am going like to look like a try hard, not because
Oh yeah, I'm swinging out my shoes.
Well, not just that, but like I definitely like have a little bit of muscle memory in terms of like my batting stance, which is only like is a batting stance that's like only acceptable if you're playing actual baseball. If I were doing that in a batting cage, I'd look like an asshole.
So I don't know how I would have fared, but my swing would have looked better. I don't know if I would have connected on anything.
You would,
Yeah.
you would. I mean, I was connecting on stuff right away.
Okay.
And I never played, like I didn't play high school baseball or anything. But looks like I played fucking Major League Baseball. So I did think about making the video, like first ball, and then as soon as I connect, it's like Manny Ramirez just fucking launching it.
It would have. I mean, a very cool move would be to hit a batting cage, absolutely clobber the first one, toss the bat, and just leave.
Walk off.
Just let that little freak pitch to nobody for the rest of
that
the
shit.
time.
And then just say to like, Julia's like, where are we going? I say, let that fucking loser take these balls. Point to the guy with his kids.
No, where are we going? We're going straight to Fenway. I got a contract to sign.
We're going back.
Daddy's
Well,
getting
Speaking
paid.
of which, they just announced the first 4 teams of the Women's Professional Baseball League, one of which
did see
is
that.
based in Boston.
Ooh. Well, speaking of sports other than hockey, shit came through.
Oh my God, that looks great.
You
That
see
is
this?
an awesome hat.
This is my
boy, I didn't-
California Redwoods. Famously, I know all about PLL. I mean, I know more than I did a fucking couple of weeks ago, man. I'm getting there. Sean, can you give me the camera? Look at that.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Redwood stuff is good.
This is
That's. I mean, green and yellow.
Yeah.
Green and gold is such a like fail-proof color scheme.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the Elks color as well. Speaking of the CFL, Edmonton Elks, that's the green and yellow.
I feel like I can't do this with a green Stinger Blue Jackets shirt, but if I just do like a white tee on this,
It's all so ridiculous that it works.
Oh yeah,
you
true.
just look like you look like you were in an amusement park.
I
feel
love
like,
this
I feel like
shit,
you
though.
need. I feel like you need sunscreen on your nose.
Oh
yeah.
fuck yeah. Yo, I
That
was
looks
swimming under a
real
waterfall yesterday. What do you know about that, Sean? You ever swim under a waterfall?
No.
I swim under 2 waterfalls. This just like looks like someone who swims under waterfalls. So I feel like the hat is serving my vibe right now.
I want to see my shit.
Your shit's,
Nah,
your shit's real good. You got some.
I kinda
you
forgot
got some
what I got.
Japanese stuff in there.
Oh,
me and
yes,
you,
the global
Me and you got the
series stuff.
Japanese shit. It's awesome.
When are
Speaking
you
of
gonna
cool
get
merch,
back to doing the
I don't know if you saw
Japanese
this
shit?
weekend is Indigenous Peoples or Indigenous Appreciation Weekend for the PLL, and they have like limited edition, like Native Pride kind of inspired jerseys, and
Hell
they rock. They rock so hard.
Shit. What else? You watched PLL this weekend, right, John?
Yeah, the All-Star game was on Sunday. I mean, it's an All-Star game. The thing I've tweeted it a couple of times, brought up a couple of times on the show. My big thing with this league is like I don't understand why the goalies sign up for that shit, and like it's an impossible job. And they had the hardest. The thing I liked about the PLL All-Star weekend was that they did kind of like their skills competitions during the game, like at intermissions and stuff like that. So it's like one event. You don't have you can't have one guy like ruin the whole day. Not that we've ever seen that in the NHL or anything like that. But they also did they had guys do rock, paper, scissors for one of the face-offs. Just goofy shit. But my reason I brought up the skills competition is because the hardest shot was 112 miles an hour, I believe. Those balls are they're rubber on the outside, kind of like concrete on the inside.
It beats Chara.
It does. But the goalies aren't wearing pads. They don't have any pads on. I have a lot of experience with indoor lacrosse, being in Buffalo and the Buffalo Bandits, and those guys make NHL goalies look like they don't wear pads because the indoor lacrosse guys look like the Thing from Fantastic Four. It's ridiculous. These guys are wearing shorts and a helmet, and they're like, go get in front of this shot. And again, the All-Star game, guys were still shooting. It's not like the NBA where guys are throwing up floaters from mid-court. Guys are still ripping shots at you for a game that quote-unquote doesn't matter, and they're just getting there to fuck around, and the goalies just had to sit there and be like, I guess I'll still save this 80-mile, 90-mile-an-hour shot from a piece of concrete. Absolutely ridiculous thing to me, but yes.
It's
PLL,
you can't even get out of the way if you wanted to, because
No.
if they shoot it at you, you can't. That's just that's how fast they are.
One of the goals in the All-Star game this week, I believe, was literally just banked in off the goalie's helmet. And it's here's a concussion for your All-Star game. Have fun. That part's always crazy to me. But the players, the forwards and everybody else, I don't know if they have a term like skaters for lacrosse. That's the other thing. One of my big takeaways from watching lacrosse is I'm having a better appreciation for the heated rivalry fans that are getting into hockey, because there's a lot of I understand what's happening. I understand what the point is, but I don't really understand I'm learning the positions, the transition, the way the game, the intricacies of the game, I guess I'm learning, and that's been a fun experience.
I've kind of adopted the main complaint against hockey from newcomers, which is I can't see the puck. I have a hard time following play with PLL. It's so fast, and the shots are crazy.
Fastest game on ice.
Yeah,
that's right.
I will say that's one of the things. A lot of times, the players have a hard time following the ball because trick shots, fake passes.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite lacrosse play ever. Do a little fake dump off to your teammate, have the ball the whole time. It's like a little hidden ball trick, and then you just come in, not getting guarded, rip that shit into the net while the goalie's looking the other way. I love that stuff.
Behavior-wise, that sounds like the slap pass of lacrosse, and I love a slap pass.
Yes,
I will say.
Well, no, it's it's a hit. I know you're a hidden ball guy in terms of baseball. It's literally that.
The lacrosse and PLL is an awesome highlights and replay sport, because you see you completely miss it the first time, and then they show the replay, and you're like, damn, that was sick.
Yeah, and I think the wrist speed for some of these guys, a big kind of hockey comparison. The way that they're able to just all of it, ball is here and all of a sudden that shit is gone. They're really able to snap their wrist and stuff. It's I'm getting into it. It is like I said before, it has big kind of protect the castle vibes, where if somebody gets close to the net, if they don't score, that's on them, because the goalie's having a hard job. But one thing I was listening to the Scoop, I believe they call it, kind of the PLL podcast. And one thing I hadn't thought about that they brought up was that the worst thing that that can happen with a shot in lacrosse is that you miss, because or
you have to go get it,
or that it gets saved. I guess because the thing about lacrosse is when you miss a shot, or the best thing that can happen, I think is how they put it, with a shot is that you score. Second best thing that happen is that you miss, because in lacrosse, if a ball goes out of bounds, the first person to get to it basically gets the ball. It's not like a last person touched it thing. So if you're whipping that shit on net and you miss, you're probably going to get the ball back. So it's like you've said, very fast paced, very high offense.
Two final notes. The PLL having their All-Star game on July 4th weekend and making the jerseys July America themed. Incredible move. And second, they should make lacrosse balls like Nerf howlers, because they are whipping those things. They should Nerf howl. That would be so sick. It'd be horrible on the broadcast, but I would
kill
love
the sport though, because I already don't understand how goalies sign up for that shit. If that thing sounds like it's a fucking homing missile coming at you, I am diving for cover with those shots.
Laura in the chat says something that I've been thinking, which is the vibes right now are incredible with DJ's hat and Sean's menacing baseball bat. You talking while your friend of the show, Gerard Mayo, maxing right now, which is famously when he was an assistant coach for the Patriots, he would walk around with a baseball bat, just kind of like talking, gesturing.
Gotta say, why she say fuck Erling Haaland for?
I mean, the whole thing looks great.
So
Pete got his Erling Haaland jersey. We each ordered fake Erling Haaland jerseys. He's got there first. I'm so pissed.
And I would not say the quality is good, but for $20, it's not bad. This is definitely going to be like a 2 or 3 times I can wear it before it falls apart, and then I can never wear it again. But really, all I need this to do is hold me over until I can get my hands on a real Erling Haaland jersey.
Yeah, I have a feeling that DJ is going to be a little nicer.
Probably.
But again,
it's because they're fucking like locally sourcing the thread because they're like planting and growing the thread. It's taking so long to make. I'll say anything nice that's been said about this hat in the chat has been correct because
awesome.
I am
big fan,
loving this, and I think I will be wearing this every day the rest of the summer. And spoiler, I don't wear hats on this show though.
Now you do.
Maybe in the summer I can.
Yeah.
That
nice little summer vibe shift. Just being hats only in the off season.
But it's always this type of hat.
I don't know. I think the concept of you only wearing hats in the off season is very funny to me.
And that's the way that you'll know. If you see an old clip, be like, when was that? Oh, it was clearly summer. Old Dave's wearing a hat.
Do we want to do some super chats before we get out of here?
Super chats.
Real quick, have you claimed Pete, have you claimed your PLL team?
I'm just gonna do cannons.
Okay,
Boston
they
guy.
Suck. They are.
I know they suck,
so
but that's
bad.
ground floor shit. Nobody can accuse me of being a bandwagoner. I mean, it's my local team, but
I was gonna say this earlier when DJ was like getting in on the ground. What was you saying that about? Getting in the ground floor of oh fuck, I can't remember. But I was gonna say the ground floor of that Pfizer building in New York. Have you seen that shit?
No.
Oh, there's that building in New York that's going to collapse. That's in the middle of collapsing. Oh yeah, there's like a 20-story building. It's probably because it got the vaccine. Former like Pfizer office building that they were converting into apartments. Guys are up on the 24th floor and they're like, oh, bricks are falling, and oh, that support beam is snapping in half. And they had to evacuate the building, and they've evacuated the block basically. Mamdani was doing pressers, and they're being like, yeah, this shit is
that's not good.
Probably going to collapse. And guess where I am this weekend?
Oh, no.
The Pfizer building in New York?
A mile and a half away. Saturday night, I have a hotel in Manhattan. Mile and a half away from that. So I might be in New York while a building collapses.
Damn.
Get ready to learn Kenny Loggins, because you're in the danger zone, brother. None.
You should get this hat, so if you die, people will be like, he looked damn good.
I think it probably looks better on you than it would look on me.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I think first off, I have a big head.
Say it, Sean.
I know I have a big head, so one size fits all kind of bucket hat things tend to not fit all. Not fit this all. And also, I don't know, you just got more of a bucket hat vibe.
Sean, would you be insulted if I made you a Michael Jackson playlist?
Insulted only because I know all of Michael Jackson's music already.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Would you be like, I already know all this shit. I don't need it from fucking you.
Yeah, I have this isn't like when we were talking Stevie Wonder. I have plenty of, I have enough Michael Jackson experience to have. I know what music I like.
DJ
I know what
showing up with a bike with training wheels and Sean's popping wheelies,
exactly
riding around him.
Okay. Well, I was going to make one for you because we were talking Michael Jackson the other day and I was getting all excited and I've been on a Michael Jackson kick
5
now.
I'll honestly take it.
So like Jackson
that's
5?
I'll honestly take it.
So that's exactly what I was like. We were listening to Dancing Machine the other day and I was like, fuck, I feel like Sean and I weren't talking about Dancing Machine. Like, do you know that song?
Maybe if I heard it. The Jackson 5 is
I mean, it's all classic shit. So, but yeah, I will make that for both of you. I want to make it for somebody, and then I'll put it on the Patreon for anybody who wants it. Sean was doing huge, doesn't matter what he was accused of. That's my fucking guy chat on the
I don't know if I put it quite
Separating
like
the art
that,
from the
but-
artist, Sean. Nice.
No, so I said that, and he was like, "No, don't."
No, I want all of it, and I'm
He was like,
still saying
"My-
yeah.
like,
That's
I was
crazy.
just, I don't remember exactly how I put it, but that guy
he said it was a different time back then. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll
it
take
certainly
that.
was
And
because I don't know if
honestly-
we would have got.
Sorry, go
See
ahead.
the movie.
No, I'm not doing that.
It was fun.
We're
I was just like I forgot what I was gonna say, to be quite honest. I did enjoy that movie though. It was.
You're
I was
both
gonna say,
Apple,
it
right?
was a different time
Yeah.
because if it wasn't a different time, I think we have a lot more. There was a lot. I think there were a lot more conversations that would have been happening at that time had the internet existed in the way that it does now.
Well, I think that
So-
like people would beat you with a bat if you were listening to Michael Jackson now. Like people would like cancel you. Like
Yeah.
if all of that shit was happening right now.
Probably, but
The
I don't
Disney-
And
know.
then
course.
Bill Maher would be like, "I got to get Michael Jackson on my show." You see, he did an episode with Kevin Spacey.
Dude,
That sounds right. Yeah,
Kevin
I'll take
Spacey's
the
still not
playlist
really owning
and
up for that
we can
shit,
throw it
by the way.
on. We can throw it on Patreon.
Good idea.
he did say that. He did
Oh, he
say
did?
that.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we only had one of those today. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Kevin Spacey, by the way, not taking accountability for any of that shit.
Oh, dude, it was and even Bill. I saw a clip of it, and Bill Maher was like, "But you got accused by like a lot of people, though. It wasn't just like
He was like, I
one
flirted a
thing
lot."
you could say someone was trying to take money. There were a lot of accusations. So like, I do think you did that shit. I'm just having you on because I'm a fucking weirdo." Kevin Spacey was like, you don't got to worry about that shit. None of that. Nah, it's all good.
Non-Yeo Sharks fan. If Erling Haaland were to eat Brady Tkachuk, would he have the time to play for both the Florida Panthers and Manchester City?
No, because Manchester City plays during the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I do not think there will be another fallow year.
Fair enough.
Good question, good answer.
Marin says,
Nope. Read the rest of the super chat. Sorry.
Marin.
Marin
Yeah.
MN? Marin
No,
MN?
they clarified their pronunciation. in the
Oh
super
shit!
chat.
Yeah, sorry. I would have gotten to it, but I
Yeah, that's
I
why-
had a username to read right that
You had
second.
a word to read first.
Marin, hello. Row. I don't know how the Haya Norge. I know that that's the row chant, but I don't know. I don't want to butcher the Norwegian language more than I already have by reading that username. Tuzzy, very happy to participate live sports discussions again after Rogers shut down Vancouver Sports Radio yesterday. RIP Sportsnet 650 and 590. Fuck you, Rogers. Yeah, that's a horrible development because I liked both of those stations, have appeared on both those stations several times. I loved the people that hosted those shows. That sucks. And condolences to everybody who lost their job and lost their listening stations. So, yes, Renee, I'm with you, Pete. I got an Etsy witch to bless this upcoming Kings season. Medium / handshake Etsy witch blessing the Kings. Same level of difficulty.
I do want to clarify. I feel bad. At the beginning of the show when I was like, oh, well, that was probably they saw on whatever. I know that that's what everybody does when they talk about mediums, but if I had considered that like you went to that shit for real, I wouldn't have said that. So that was my bad.
It is okay. I appreciate. The love of your life says, when I was a kid, I used to see ghosts all the time. When I got really suicidal, convinced the two are linked, also had fun times with a ghost once.
I bet you could have fun with ghosts.
I wonder if there is a link between that because, I mean, famously, I've been on record as saying, same boat.
We're
I've not
glossing
had
over
fun
the
with
end of
ghosts,
that.
though.
I was going to say, because knowing what we know about the love of your life, I think that can be read in a very specific way.
Are you saying that you had sex with a ghost, the love of your life?
That's listen.
I also had fun. I mean, I'll give him the benefit
What
of
else
the
does that
doubt.
mean?
Fun times can be a lot of different things. But knowing the love of your life, I probably shouldn't give him the benefit of the doubt.
Follow up love of your life comment.
Yeah, found a way to say sex on here. Everyone's cooked. It's okay. Good update. Thank you, the love of your life. Anna Reeves writes, congrats to DJ's favorite Connor Story on his Emmy nomination. Is it real if he wins?
All Emmys are real.
And to Pete's fave, Summerhouse, for their Emmy nomination, derogatory. Thank you very much. Kara says, can Freddie Anderson handle Babcock? DJ, you happy?
Yeah, I'm
just
fine
hope
with
for
it.
the best.
I feel like between the three of those guys, and it's really only two of them, I think that they'll have fine goaltending for like half a season, and then you figure out from there.
Leanna Banana says, I'm biased, but sneaky good pickup of Maverick Bork.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Same. SJ Sharkey, can I offer sheet the Columbus Blue Jackets organization asking for a friend? Be nice. Be nice. They're back. Werenski's staying. And Reeves Wright says, not sure if you guys heard, Anders Lee signed with Utah. Thank you very
fucking kidding me?
much.
Breaking.
This seems like a cash grab.
This is the first I'm hearing of that. Ambassador to Greece, free agent. I don't know about that. These agents are pretty dang expensive.
Taking
Nice.
that commission.
Mimi K, praying for the Habs to offer sheet Simon Edmondson. Simon Edmondson is awesome. That would be... I want the Red Wings to be relevant, so I don't want him to get plucked. J. Walter High Pants, Morgan Riley is the new Evan Bouchard. No one cares. It's mean, but fair. Generic Red Circle joins the pod, mogs everyone, drops incredible gossip, and then dips. What a legend. Yeah. Tom had a pretty incredible debut performance and appearance on this show. I will say that. Load-bearing wokeness. I just spoke with Mitch McConnell. We talked roughly for 20 minutes about the Kraken and middle six forwards and how important they are to winning Stanley Cups. He's a wonderful man. Philip Grubauer.
That's awesome. That's a good reference.
What a super chat. Matt Friend or Foe. Update. I tried playing NHL 26 this weekend and couldn't get more than a few hours into it before quitting. The fact that they have so much money and can't make a good game has to count as criminal conspiracy. Yeah, stocks are way down on NHL. This franchise. Sean, did you see the development on college football 27?
What do you mean?
Game is apparently fantastic.
Oh yeah,
but
I haven't. I've been
they
playing
have removed features and replaced them with microtransactions. So welcome back, EA. You had 2 good years.
Yeah, I've seen people talking about that. I don't really know what they are talking about. I've only played Dynasty, and there's no microtransactions in that, so I don't really know.
It is in Dynasty. The coach progression you kind of have to pay for now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nathan McKinnon's Shark candidacy. I was reading that, Sean. Islanders fan competition for 3rd jersey.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you saw that. Is create your own. They have like a jersey creator kind of engine on their website, and they give you the logos and colors and silhouettes, and you get to create your own jersey. Little section at the end that notes where like if there's something you couldn't do specifically, kind of with our builder here, let us know. And they're having a fan jersey, first ever NHL fan jersey contest for an actual game jersey.
I'm down with that. Right on. Anna Reeves writes, no big deal, but lose control. My book is 1 year old today. Happy birthday.
Everyone read that.
Absolutely. Matt Friend or Foe. Google says lacrosse is the oldest team sport in North America. Is that true? Maybe I can use that as an excuse to get into it.
I know it's Canada's national sport.
It's very indigenous.
It's attachment to native cultures. It is genuinely one of the oldest sports in the world, and I think that's what makes it very unique and very beautiful.
I think they used to play with human heads, which I'm glad that they don't do that anymore.
Woke. All right, I have to run.
Okay.
Pete,
Toodaloo.
take us home.
I will. Enjoy.
Bye, friends.
We will see
Great start
you
to the
next week.
Pete. Great start to the Pete Hour.
Great start to the Pete Hour, especially because I get to read this super chat from the Love of Your Life. I had gay sex with that ghost, says the Love of Your Life. Very cool. Glad you had a good time. Young Gritty, speaking of driving with Sean, I want to take a victory lap. What did I say the Flyers should do on June 25th? Sean?
Young Gritty was on the offer sheeting Leo Carlsson thing. He was on it, can confirm. I don't know how much he genuinely believed it, like it would happen when he said it, but he did bring it up.
I would give you full credit if you said the Flyers should offer sheet Leo Carlsson for $18 million a year.
No.
That's when you get full marks. Is that the last super chat that we have?
Yes.
Yes. This is a wild, long show, 2.5 hours, but that's kind of what happens when you do one show a week. I had a great time. It's a blast of a show. We'll be back with any big developments on YouTube. I did write a pop culture notebook on Patreon yesterday. I'm planning to do a little bit more regular writing on Patreon, so if you're interested in that, go join. We obviously will have the extra bonus episodes every week on Patreon as well, so plenty of stuff there. And in the meantime, we will see you next week. Goodbye. Love you.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.